Chapter 1276. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Times have changed. The higher the level of contact, the corresponding changes will follow. A few hundred Holy Spirit stones can only set up an ordinary small array. What I want to set up now is a large array that can completely defend the city. In the future, the array set up in Hautian City will be one that can withstand the attacks of powerful figures. It won't be that easy, Night Sorrow said. That's true. The higher the level of contact, the more the world and the perspective will be different. Night Sorrow, ninth senior sister can't help you now, Yang Lei said. In those years, I remember that I was still young. My dream was to protect the people around me. I wanted to make sure that the Medicine Valley and senior sister would never have to worry. The dream I had when I was young will never fade. Ninth senior sister, do you understand? Night Sorrow grabbed Yang Lei and said. Yes. When will you come back with your original body? I want a child too. Sister Shueshi actually wants to give birth to a child for you, Yang Lei said in a low voice. It's not easy to have Lord Yuan Qinyan. With the strength of my body now, it's even harder to have a child. We'll talk about this when my original body comes out. I'll talk to Lord Yuan Qinyan. You're no different from their biological mother, Night Sorrow said. You're thinking too much. Lord Yuan Qinyan respect me and Shueshi very much. Those messy things don't exist in our family, Yang Lei shook her head and said. Then I understand. You're making me worry again, Night Sorrow said as he patted Yang Lei's arm. I'm just thinking that it's better to have a child. It's the proof of our relationship. Yang Lei shook her head. We don't need any proof of our relationship. It's enough that you're always by my side. Don't forget to cultivate hard. Only when you reach the King Realm can you become immortal. Read the whole thing, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. Okay, I know. I'm cultivating very well now. After a while, I'll be able to reach the Saint King Realm. The Purple Cloud Sovereign gave me a letter. It won't be a problem for me to reach the Saint King Realm, Yang Lei said. How are 6th senior sister and Chuyu? Night Sorrow asked. It's not a problem. Chuyu is being guided by Aunt Fei in her cultivation. 6th senior sister is even more amazing. She is the spatial lord and has a deeper understanding of the wind attribute. Her foundation is even more overbearing than Chuyu's and mine, Yang Lei said with a smile. It's been hard on you. When a woman gets married, how can a man not be at home all the time? I have no choice. The 9 domains world must have its own sky, and it must keep up with the pace. Wait for me. When it's about time, I'll come back to accompany you, said Yishan. It's not enough. I have the longevity limitless pill. I'll think of a way. No matter what, I'll push you to the King Realm. If you don't exist in my world, what's the point of me living? Even if it's the unhindered world, who will it be for? Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei seriously. Yes. 13 unhindered world. We must watch. Aoi and Sikong Chuyu also came to the hall. Night Sorrow, come back quickly. Others may think we're beautiful, but without a man by our side, do we still look like women? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I admit that I was wrong. I'll pour some tea now. Night Sorrow stood up to make tea. 13 is still the same 13. He hasn't changed because of his strength or status, Aoi said. Of course. I'll always be 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister's 13th junior brother, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow's words made Sikong Chuyu and the others feel at ease. They trusted Night Sorrow, but they were also worried about the distance between them after not being together for a long time. However, Night Sorrow's words dispelled their worries. Night Sorrow studied the frozen illusionary killing array every day. He didn't want to ask others to set up the array. If he could do it, then he would do it himself. Jun Xuanji also frequently sent over information about the Qing Emperor's dynasty. All the giants of the major factions had left, but the news of the heavenly artifact spread more and more. It was mainly because Night Sorrow didn't swear to deny it at Sandalwood's wedding. The heavenly oath had great restrictions on cultivators. King had the will of heaven and earth, so he could resist the attacks of the will of lower worlds. However, the heavenly oath of higher worlds and supreme worlds had great restrictions. Even the giants couldn't resist it. After all, they weren't level 9. If they were level 9, they might be able to resist the attacks of the will of higher worlds. Original 2 * version, F. Night Sorrow didn't swear to the heavenly oath, and the Qing Emperor's attitude showed that the heavenly artifact was most likely in Night Sorrow's hands. Several factions joined forces to force him to take it. However, because they didn't choose a good name, Night Sorrow destroyed it with a body of merit. No one could go back on their words. However, after Sandalwood's wedding, a group of people began to use all kinds of methods. Their goal was the heavenly artifact. However, the Qing Emperor's dynasty also showed a very strong attitude. Once a spy of unknown origin was discovered in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, they would capture and kill him. Kill the wrong person? At this time, the Qing Emperor's dynasty's waters were very deep. Anyone who mysteriously entered would have to be prepared to be killed. The Qing Emperor's dynasty also made a strong announcement. The Qing Emperor's dynasty forbade giants from entering without saying anything. Whoever dared to enter without permission would die. There were also people who had designs on the 9 regions world. At this time, everyone discovered that they couldn't enter the 9 regions world group because the world teleportation formation had been closed. The spies who had already infiltrated the Qing Emperor's dynasty were also unable to find Night Sorrow's whereabouts. The Qing Emperor's guards guarded the 9 regions building tightly, and there was also an army stationed at the 9 regions building. Occasionally, a few large groups would come out to patrol the surroundings. This made many people unable to make a move because the Qing Emperor's dynasty was too powerful. No one directly jumped out, so they were all watching. However, no one gave up because the heavenly Tao divine artifact was too important. It was just that it wasn't the time to use it because no one had really seen the heavenly Tao divine artifact. It was not worth it to fight to the death without seeing the heavenly Tao divine artifact. Datura returned to the dark abyss. She was now fully focused on studying the heavenly mandate scripture. Although she had cultivated it successfully, the timing was still a problem. The Qing Emperor was the same. Both his original body and avatar were cultivating. After his original body cultivated, the Qing Emperor's combat strength increased a lot. If his avatar also cultivated, the effect would be even stronger. Night Sorrow's original body was also cultivating the heavenly mandate scripture. He felt that the effect of his original body's cultivation was much better than his avatar's. This was a problem of the foundation. The heavenly mandate scripture could be said to be a cultivation method. It could strengthen the body, mainly because it could seal the energy and not let it leak. The body of Night Sorrow's original body was much stronger than that of his avatar. The effect of cultivating the heavenly mandate scripture was even stronger. Night Sorrow felt that the effect of cultivating the heavenly mandate scripture was better than that of the Qing Emperor and Datura. This was because he was a cultivator of the body. The energy of his body was similar to his cultivation. Chapter 1277. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Read the full text. Night Sorrow's original body was currently comprehending the will of heaven and earth while cultivating the heavenly mandate scripture. After diligent cultivation, Night Sorrow's realm and cultivation had reached the same level. Now, he could continue to comprehend the realm and cultivate the heavenly mandate scripture. Night Sorrow's doppelganger stayed in the city in the sky and practiced the ice-sealing illusionary matrix every day. His doppelganger in the heaven sealing hall also followed along and deduced the matrix to maximize its power. After 3 months of deduction, Night Sorrow's ice-sealing illusionary matrix was perfect and could be set up. After taking 300,000 Saint Spirit stones, Night Sorrow arrived at 7 Night City. At this time, 7 Night City was still under construction. It was connected to all parts of the Tianxian world and was already a relatively prosperous city. Outsiders came in to live and do business. Taishu Yen also gave Yi Shan some of the resources they had collected. Night Sorrow said to Taishu Yen, "No need. The output of 7 Night City can be used for the construction of 7 Night City. I'm going to set up the matrix. Don't panic if there's any movement." Taishu Yen nodded. Night Sorrow then went to the high mountain that the city lord's office of 7 Night City was leaning on. With a wave of his arm, energy exploded and repaired the top of the mountain. Night Sorrow took out the ice dragon's body that he had obtained from the extreme cold current. Then, his soul power entered the ice dragon divine pearl and began to refine it. After half a day, Night Sorrow finished refining the ice dragon divine pearl. After calming down, Night Sorrow used his soul power to guide the energy in the ice dragon's body into the Saint Spirit stones. Then, he began to set up the matrix. Night Sorrow couldn't set up a high-level heavenly master matrix in the past. After studying the heavenly mandate scripture for more than 20 years in the ice dragon realm, his 2 doppelganger continued to deduce. This allowed Night Sorrow's matrix cultivation to reach the level of high-level heavenly master. Fei Xiu stood guard beside the ice dragon skeleton to prevent others from coming to destroy it. Summer City protected Night Sorrow and watched as Night Sorrow set up the formation. Shang-Xi and Yi Qianhua were also in 7 Night City. They had just returned from the ancestral ground of the Yi tribe and saw Night Sorrow setting up the formation. Amazing! In the future, this will be the #1 city in the profound sky world, a city that even sovereigns cannot break through. Shang-Xi said emotionally. $2, Grandpa. Are you saying that this is a big city that not even a monarch can break through? Yi Qianhua asked in surprise. That's right. It is recorded in the ancient records that the bones of the 8th rank ice element beasts do not disperse after they die. If they are used as the core of the formation, no one of the same cultivation level will be able to break it. That is the bones of a monarch-level ice dragon. Once the formation is completed, who among the monarchs can break it? Shang-Xi said. But I've never heard of such a great array. Yi Qianhua still didn't quite understand. There were few ice element beasts in the boundless world, but it wasn't to say that there were none. However, he and Yi Tian had never seen or heard of such a great array in the past few days. Qianhua, you don't understand. This is a natural death and the loss of life force. How can a king-level ice element beast die so easily? When it dies in battle, its body is damaged and its energy is lost. Therefore, such a formation is very rare. Your Yi tribe has produced such an amazing person. It's really amazing. Shang-Xi said. Yes, it was Night Sorrow who changed the 9 regions world and the Yi tribe by himself. It must have been hard on him. Yi Qianhua said. As for you, you can't live in the past. The things that should be ended have been ended. This time, you have successfully reincarnated and want to start a new life. You need to marry and have children. Shang-Xi said. Grandpa, Qianhua no longer has a knot in my heart. My parents still exist in this world. This is enough for me. Yi Qianhua nodded. In fact, it wasn't only Yi Qianhua who had a knot in his heart. Shang-Xi also saw that her daughter's child still existed in this world. This great array is really not something that an ordinary person can set up. It's amazing. At such a young age, his cultivation level is high, his combat strength is amazing, and he has such deep attainments in formations. It's rare. Shang-Xi had a high opinion of Night Sorrow. Actually, he's also a heavenly master-level alchemist and blacksmith, but he doesn't like to be flamboyant. Yi Qianhua said with a smile. Your descendant can also be considered Grandpa's descendant. Very good. Shang-Xi said with a smile. It took Night Sorrow 4 months to set up the frozen illusionary killing array. 7 Night City was completely enveloped by the frozen illusionary killing array. The moment the array was set up and started to operate, everyone in 7 Night City heard the sound of a dragon's roar. There was also a dragon's shadow hovering in the sky. On the peak behind the City Lord Mansion, the ice dragon skeleton seemed to be alive as it circulated with light. From today onwards, you are the guardian of Seven Night City. Night Sorrow, who was standing in front of the City Lord Mansion, looked at the ice dragon skeleton and said, "Commander, what's the state of the Great Array now? Will it be destroyed by someone who dug out the spirit stones?" Taishu Yen asked. "No, the 200,000 Saint Spirit stones are now in the form of energy. If anyone has any ideas about these resources, they will be directly killed by the Great Array's energy," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "In other words, the only drawback is that it will be destroyed from the inside." Yi Qianhua said. "How should I put it? It's not that easy. This Great Array has already recognized me as its master, so I can control its attacks. If there is a war, after sealing the teleportation array, no one will be able to break in. In addition, the frozen illusionary killing array restricts the effects of other formations outside of the teleportation array's area. In other words, other than the frozen illusionary killing array and the formations that I allow to operate, no other formations can exist in Seven Night City. It can be said that Seven Night City is already impregnable. Even if a monarch comes, he will be killed." Night Sorrow said. "Your Highness, is it really that powerful?" Fei Xiu asked. Night Sorrow stretched out his arm, and a white energy ribbon appeared on the shining ice dragon's body and flew in the air. "Captain Fei Xiu, what do you think of this energy?" Night Sorrow waved his finger, and the energy ribbon returned to the ice dragon's body. "It's so strong. I can't handle it," Fei Xiu said. "That's right. Martial Uncle Taishu, you have my messaging crystal in your hand. If there is a battle, you can crush it and I will immediately come back to help. If not for a Heaven Master, I want to see who can break into my Seven Night City." After working hard for a few months and spending 200,000 Saint Spirit stones, Night Sorrow was very confident. "Good, that's very dependable," Taishu Yen said. "Very good." Shang-Xi and Yi Qianhua also came over and said, "I've been a little busy recently. Night Sorrow didn't receive you as a guest. I'm very sorry." Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Shang-Xi. "It's fine. It's fine as long as you don't see me as an enemy," Shang-Xi said. "I won't. The matters of the South Sky Dynasty have nothing to do with you. Night Sorrow is not a person who doesn't know right from wrong," Night Sorrow said. "I'm all alone now. I plan to buy a courtyard in Seven Night City and live in Seven Night City in the future," Shang-Xi said. "How can you say that you are inextricably linked to the Night Clan? You are a senior, an elder. Seven Night City welcomes you. Martial Uncle Taishu, please make the arrangements," Night Sorrow said to Taishu Yen. Chapter 1278. Genius remembers love in 1 second. Go/little. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Shang-Xi didn't refuse because there was no point in pushing back and forth. Night Sorrow, thank you, Yi Qianhua said. You don't have to be so polite. Elder is even the ancestor of the Yi clan. I won't be stingy with what I can do. Night Sorrow shook his head. In fact, the Night Moon dynasty of the Nine Regions world was the descendant of Yi Qianhua. Yi Qianhua's mother, Heavenly Lady Shang, was the ancestor of the Yi clan, so naturally, Shang-Xi was too. Uncle Master, the back peak of the City Lord's office will be designated as a forbidden area in the future. The core of the matrix has a self-protection function. Anyone who gets close to the core of the matrix will be killed. Night Sorrow explained to Taishu Yen. Alright, this subordinate understands. Then can our Seven Night City develop with all our might? Taishu Yen opened her mouth to ask. I don't care about development. You discuss it with the people of the Commander-in-Chief's office, Night Sorrow said. Then, Night Sorrow left. Seven Night City. This is a hands-off boss, but there are too many things for him to worry about. Taishu Yen shook her head helplessly. Then what should we do? He has too many things to do, and his own cultivation can't be delayed, Yi Qianhua said with a smile. Back in the city in the sky, Night Sorrow rested in the lake for a day and continued to study the matrix in the city in the sky. Now, he was deducing the 9 Serenities slaughtering God matrix. Night Sorrow planned to continue to improve his matrix cultivation. When the 9 regions world was formed, his matrix cultivation would be high enough to set up his own matrix. The matrix was the same, but the main thing was to understand the matrix theory. Night Sorrow studied the heavenly mandate scripture and improved his matrix cultivation. He could clearly distinguish the yin and yang of the matrix. If he could understand the 9 Serenities slaughtering God matrix, he could set up the 9 Serenities slaughtering God Dragon Tiger matrix. Night Sorrow's days were very peaceful, but the world of samsara was not. Some forces began to move and began to conflict with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The reason was simple. Many forces wanted to put pressure on the Qing Emperor's dynasty. They had to dig out the heavenly axiom divine artifact from the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The Qing Emperor had been in a bad temper recently. He directly gave the order to kill anyone who dared to stir up trouble. This made the conflict more and more intense. Several big forces began to send people to the eastern district of the world of samsara. After receiving this news, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating because this could be considered a disaster that he had brought upon himself. After stopping his cultivation, Night Sorrow took the 7 night cities Interrealm transfer array back to the 9 Chong building and brought Summer City to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Xian Daozi came out and led Night Sorrow and Summer City inside. I knew you wouldn't be able to sit still after hearing the news. Qing Emperor was making tea. Master, I want to lead the army into battle, Night Sorrow said. You don't need to do this for now. Qing Emperor shook his head. Master, this is all my fault. Night Sorrow didn't want others to take the blame for him. It's not like that. Night Sorrow, you have a bad habit of shouldering everything by yourself. They are slapping me in the face now. Do you understand? It's still a small test stage now. It's not suitable for you. You can fight when you are needed. Go back and cultivate. Don't think too much. Qing Emperor said. Your Highness, the Qing Emperor's dynasty is not a pushover. If they want to fight, let's fight. Let's see what they can do to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Xian Daozi said. Night Sorrow had no choice but to return to the 9 Chong building with Summer City. He was filled with anger because this world was too cruel. This was the law of the jungle. However, he wasn't strong enough yet. Your Highness, this kind of war is common in the supreme world. It's common to fight for hundreds of years before reaching the climax stage. Summer City could see Night Sorrow's impatience. I'm confused. These people have a robber's logic, Night Sorrow said as he slammed the table. That's right. It's a robber's logic, Summer City said. Your Highness, it should be a test stage now. If it's necessary, we can ask for another battle, Nu Lin, who had been listening to Night Sorrow and Summer City's conversation, said. You're saying that the battle won't be too intense now? Night Sorrow asked suspiciously. Of course. They want to suppress the Qing Emperor's dynasty. However, if they are the most active, the Qing Emperor's dynasty will catch them and beat them to death. Hence, everyone is more cautious, Summer City said. Night Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief and calmed down a little. Time. I still need time, Night Sorrow said. Summer City and Nu Lin didn't say anything. They knew that Night Sorrow was extremely talented. However, experts were all accumulated with talent, resources, and time. Night Sorrow had talent and resources, but he lacked time. Night Sorrow sighed and took out the formation map to study. The situation was still the same. He couldn't change it. A few days later, another piece of news spread. The Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's men fought with the Celestial Sect's men at the edge of the Eastern District and the Black Fiend Valley of the World of Reincarnation. The battle became muddy again. The Qing Emperor's dynasty wasn't fighting alone. This made the other forces cautious. After all, the strength of the 3 top forces was no joke. The stalemate. Many forces fought at the edge of the eastern district of the world of reincarnation. There were killings every day. This was a war of attrition. It was a way to make the other party compromise. Night Sorrow waited for his level to increase. His will of nothingness was already at 40% completion. He just needed one more step to become a 5-star king. By then, Night Sorrow wouldn't be afraid of any high-level king. This made Night Sorrow uneasy. He paced back and forth in the space where the three mixed wills spread out. Young man, it's taboo to be flustered. The voice of the world of reincarnation's origin sounded in Night Sorrow's mind. Thank you for your reminder. I'll calm myself down. Night Sorrow bowed to the void. However, 2 days had passed and Night Sorrow still felt that he couldn't do it. Young man, what's wrong? If you continue to be in this state, why don't you stop cultivating and go out for a walk to stabilize your state of mind? A white-haired old man in a black robe appeared in front of Night Sorrow. Thank you for asking. I need time. There are many things that I can't solve because I'm not strong enough. I'm very anxious. Night Sorrow sighed. Tell me about it. The old man said. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything and told him about it. Heavenly artifact. It seems like your body of merit is really blessed by the heavens. Alright, I can help you, but there must be a price. The old man looked at Night Sorrow and said. Please tell me. Night Sorrow bowed. Don't you have a treasure that accelerates time? That pagoda. Bring it in and I can let the will of heaven and earth enter it. However, the cultivation time has to be calculated according to the accelerated time. The old man in the world of reincarnation's origin said. Sure. Thank you, Senior, Yishang said. Chapter 1279. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. What's the reason? Night Sorrow asked. It's still too early to tell you. As long as you admit that you owe me a favor, you'll help me when I need help. Of course, I'm betting on your success. The old man looked at Night Sorrow and said. I don't dare to make any promises because the future is unknown, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. The origin of the world of reincarnation represented the will of the world of reincarnation. If he needed help, it was no small matter. You're right. The future is unknown. If you don't do anything, if you die, I'll treat it as doing a good deed for free. If you have the ability, then I'll take the right bet. The origin of the world of reincarnation looked at Night Sorrow and said. It's not against my conscience or morality. If I have the ability, I'm willing to help you, Night Sorrow said. Okay, go get the treasure yourself, the origin of the world of reincarnation said. I won't go out. I have too many enemies now. I'll find a way to send them here, Night Sorrow said. The origin of the world of reincarnation had made a decision. Night Sorrow decided to exchange time for a large amount of cultivation time in the world of reincarnation. Night Sorrow went to the reincarnation palace first. He found an official and asked about the exchange of time in the reincarnation palace. The official checked Night Sorrow's merit points. It was more than 2 million. However, the cultivation time in the reincarnation palace wasn't enough for the exchange. The current cultivation time in the reincarnation palace was only 100 years. The next batch hadn't arrived yet. Exchange it all, Night Sorrow said directly. 100 years. If he needed 3 times the time, he could only cultivate for 33 years. If the pagoda of time and space slowed down 20 times, it would only be about 1.5 years. Holding the cultivation token of the reincarnation palace, Night Sorrow returned to the 9 Chong building. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow took out the concentric crystal and went to Datura. Is there something urgent? Datura asked. I need a lot of time to practice in the Samsara Palace. Help me, Night Sorrow said. Okay, go back to 7 Night City and wait for me. Datura said. Night Sorrow then teleported back to 7 Night City and waited by the teleportation array. A moment later, Datura appeared. This is 500 years of cultivation time. However, you cannot stay inside forever. Your state of mind is very important. As for how to arrange it, you will have to figure it out, Datura said after handing Night Sorrow a Samsara order. Night Sorrow then told Datura that Samsara Palace was willing to help him. He had nothing to hide from Datura. The Samsara Palace is the manifestation of the origin of the world of Samsara. He is willing to help you. He even needs you to owe him a favor. What's going on? Is there a big change in the world of Samsara? Does the origin of the supreme world have to be human? Datura was a little confused. As I said, I have the ability. As long as it doesn't violate my conscience and morals, I can help you. Night Sorrow said. It's not a bad thing to help the origin of a world. You have such a cultivation opportunity now. Very good. You can use this time first. If it's not enough, I will find another way. Datura felt that this was a chance for Night Sorrow to improve his strength quickly. It's enough. Even if it's 3 times the price, I have 600 years to reduce it by 3 times. I still have 200 years. If time is accelerated, I can cultivate for 10 years in real time. Night Sorrow said. Mind. You have to pay attention to your mind. Also, give me the resources. I will send them to you. Your original body will stay in the area covered by the Samsara Palace. Don't come out. Datura said. Night Sorrow returned to the 9 regions world and put away the space-time pagoda. He prepared the elixirs, dragon blood, and other cultivation resources. He also brought 300,000 Holy Spirit stones and handed them to Datura. Okay, your 2 doppelgangers pay attention to their mind cultivation. I will return to the dark abyss after delivering the resources. There are still some things to take care of. If you have time, let's meet in 7 Nights City. Datura took the resources and teleported away. After receiving the resources from Datura, Night Sorrow's original body began to speed up his cultivation. Look at the chapters in the official version. Night Sorrow's doppelganger stayed in 7 Nights City for a while before returning to the 9 regions world. He told Summer City, Fei Xiu, and the others to find him in the 9 regions world if there was anything. Then, he returned to the 9 regions world. Since his original body was speeding up his cultivation, his doppelgangers and his original body's souls were connected. His doppelganger could relax and comprehend. After greeting his family, Night Sorrow walked around the 9 regions world and looked around. Seeing that the 9 regions world was completely different from 100 years ago, Night Sorrow felt very gratified. His hard work had paid off, and everything he had done was worth it. Night Sorrow from the Profound Mysteries realm walked around, and so did Night Sorrow from the Nether realm. The barrier between the worlds had changed, and the spatial barrier between the 9 regions world was gradually melting. In other words, the last few worlds would become one world. Night Sorrow set up a tent at the entrance of the spatial tunnel between the Supreme River Dimension and the Nether realm and acted as a guard. The people coming and going didn't find it strange, and the soldiers on guard didn't find it strange either. After all, Night Sorrow looked like a harmless youth without any cultivation. The soldiers guarding the spatial tunnel were all young people, and none of them recognized Night Sorrow. However, they all had a good impression of Night Sorrow, so they didn't chase him away. One day, a commander on duty came. When he saw Night Sorrow, he felt that it was strange, so he went to Night Sorrow's tent. Young people should have dreams. In this world, the strong are respected. We have to do our best to stabilize the 9 regions world. You should work hard. Although it's a bit late to start cultivating, it's not too late. I have dreams and ideals. There's a good saying, dreams never wither. I have dreams. Cultivation is also cultivation of the heart. You have to think clearly about what you want to do at all times. I'm cultivating the heart so that it won't be covered in dust at all times. You're a bit impatient, so it's not good for you to act so impatient. After saying that, Night Sorrow continued brewing tea. You're right. My father and big brother also said the same thing. That's why they asked me to take up a position in the commander's residence to stabilize me. However, I feel that if I follow my big brother, I'll be able to achieve much faster. The commander looked at Night Sorrow and said, "The path that suits others doesn't necessarily suit you." Night Sorrow said, "You're like a wise man. Let me brew the tea." The commander began to brew tea. Night Sorrow smiled. This was the younger generation of the 9 regions world. Although they were a bit impatient, they were kind-hearted. Seeing the commander brew tea, Night Sorrow was stunned. Soldiers nowadays have such good taste. Do they all drink heart-cleansing tea? Oh. You recognize heart-cleansing tea? Heart-cleansing tea isn't easy to buy. My father said that I don't understand tea, and that drinking good tea is a waste of precious treasures. I stole it. The commander smiled. Chapter 1280. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. I'll bring you an exciting novel to read. Night Sorrow brewed tea and casually chatted with the commander. Although the commander was in his 50s, he was still a young man in front of Night Sorrow. Actually, drinking tea is a medium to cultivate the heart. If the state of mind is right, then it's right, Night Sorrow said. The commander didn't really understand. He looked at Night Sorrow, drank the tea, and returned to the barracks. Night Sorrow stayed here quietly every day, calming his state of mind and emotions. Half a month later, Night Sorrow's body shook, and the energy in his body increased rapidly. 5-star King Realm. His will of nothingness had successfully entered the level of a 5-star king after a year of accelerated cultivation. His will of time and space was also improving rapidly. This made Night Sorrow very happy. He took out a jar of wine, opened it, and drank 2 mouthfuls. At this time, the commander came over, mainly because he was irritated by his cultivation. When cultivating the technique of exerting force, it's not about what your energy looks like. You have to consider its essence. If you're water, then wave force is easy to cultivate. If you're fire, then explosive force is easy to succeed, Night Sorrow said. You're a cultivator? The commander looked at Night Sorrow with surprise. When did I say I'm not a cultivator? Night Sorrow smiled. Then why can't I see your cultivation level? The commander looked at Night Sorrow with surprise, then shock. He couldn't see through Night Sorrow's cultivation level, which meant that Night Sorrow was stronger than him. That's not important. It's fate that we met. Feel it. Night Sorrow waved his arm, and energy wrapped around the commander. Then, it produced a rhythm for the young man to feel. Read the whole thing. 3 days later, the commander was enlightened. He had comprehended wave force. Okay, you finally gained something. I should go. Night Sorrow waved his hand and kept the tent. Thank you for your guidance. What's your name? The commander bowed to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and shook his head. He did not expect anything in return for his guidance. This is heart-cleansing tea. Please accept it. The commander took out a packet of tea and said. No need, didn't you say it's hard to buy? Keep it for yourself. Yi Shan shook his head. No, this tea is hard to buy, but it's from my family, the commander said with a smile. Your family, what's your relationship with Chin Chin? Night Sorrow asked. He suddenly felt that this commander was very similar to Chin Chin. It's my father. You know my father? The commander looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. We're on our way to your house. Are you going back? Night Sorrow asked. He was surprised that Chin Chen's youngest son would be a commander in the army of the commander's residence. The commander nodded. His name was Chin Zhukong. He was a bit puzzled because his father was a loner and didn't have many friends. Taking the teleportation array, Night Sorrow arrived at Chin Chen's tea house. What wind blew you here today? Zhukong, go get some wine. Today, I'll drink with your uncle. Chen Chen hugged Night Sorrow and said to Chen Zhukong, "Uncle? You're Night Sorrow." Chen Zhukong was shocked because in this world, there was only one person he could call uncle. "You bastard, you think you can call your uncle by his name?" Chen Chen waved his hand and slapped the back of Chen Zhukong's head. "Haha. It's nothing. Brother, you're thinking too much. Let's not drink, let's drink tea. Your son can't drink the tea, so you should do it," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Thank you for your guidance, uncle. Please don't mind if Zhukong was disrespectful." Chen Zhukong said with some embarrassment. "It's nothing. Cultivate your heart well and then go find your brother. As long as you can calm down, it's time to take the big step." Night Sorrow shook his head. There were some things he didn't think of. Qianhua said the same thing, so I sent him to the commander's residence, Chen Chen said. Seven Nights City is developing very well now. When will you open your tea house? Night Sorrow asked. The 9 Domains world has already announced and encouraged everyone to develop in Seven Nights City. I also plan to go and take a look. Chen Chen nodded. After staying with Chen Chen for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at Juyuan City. He didn't take the teleportation array but flew there. A distance of 10,000 miles was just a matter of moments for Yishang. Night Sorrow arrived at the old house and lit incense for the 2 Yi family ancestors. Then, he looked at Yi Wuqiu. "Uncle, there are people from the city lord's residence guarding here. You don't have to stay here. I'm used to this life." "Patriarch, you don't have to worry about me," Yi Wuqiu said. He used to call him young master. Now, Night Sorrow was the patriarch appointed by the elders of the Yi family. "That's fine. Uncle, make your choice." Night Sorrow didn't force Yi Wuqiu. After drinking a jar of wine with Yi Wuqiu, Night Sorrow returned to Medicine Valley. Medicine Valley in the eastern Xian domain was now a holy land for cultivation. There were many venerables and saints. Many people came to learn from masters and the mountain gate was expanded several times. Coincidentally, when Night Sorrow arrived, the Medicine Valley's apprenticeship ceremony was held. Gong Xian was sitting in the main seat. Although he was already a mid-level saint, he still managed the development of Medicine Valley. He attended the apprenticeship ceremony every year. It was his philosophy to value talents and respect talents. Before Night Sorrow arrived in front of the crowd, Gong Xian moved and separated the crowd. 13. Senior brother. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. 13, you missed your 8th senior brother. Shi Tianlin, who was already the law enforcement elder, came over and patted Night Sorrow's shoulder heavily. "I was busy and didn't come back often." "Senior brother, please don't mind," Night Sorrow said apologetically. "No one will mind." Hua Nan also came over. "Nangong Dai, you host the apprenticeship ceremony." 13, let's go. Gong Xian said and pulled Night Sorrow toward Taixian Peak. The disciples of the Medicine Valley looked at Yishang with eyes full of worship. Now, it would not be like the last time when there were people who were ignorant and did not recognize Yishang. This was because there were statues of Yishang in many places. He was the idol in everyone's hearts, the immortal and indestructible king. He's still the same. He hasn't changed at all. He's still the same person, Lin Jingyi murmured. Yes, he's immortal. He's already transcended, but he's still so indifferent, Tang Qianqian said. I didn't believe in his character back then. After so many years, his character is the most outstanding thing about him. Lin Jingyi was a little emotional and even regretful. She regretted kicking Night Sorrow back then. Tang Qianqian didn't say anything. She knew what happened back then and what happened. She also understood Lin Jingyi's state of mind over the years. Lin Jingyi didn't take a second look at many young and handsome men, but Tang Qianqian knew that some things in life were in the past and could never come back. Later, we'll go and see him. In fact, it's not easy for him to work hard outside. The peace we have today is because of him, Tang Qianqian said. Chapter 1281. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. There's everything. It's much more stable than other websites and updates faster. It's all text with no advertisements. Time flies, right and wrong. This was Lin Jingyi's current state of mind. Lin Jingyi and the others had attended Yu Jun and Qin Yan's birthdays when they were young. She knew that if she didn't miss it, she might end up like Aoi and the others. Night Sorrow and his senior brothers returned to Taishan Peak. Night Sorrow took out a tea set and brewed some tea. Have some tea first. If 8th senior brother wants to drink, I'll accompany you tonight. 13, your senior brothers are all cultivating and drinking tea, but 8th senior brother can't. Sigh, his temperament isn't good enough, Shi Tianlin sighed. That's nothing. Everyone has different tastes. I'll drink with 8th senior brother tonight, Night Sorrow said. 13, they all looked down on 8th senior brother. You're the most reliable, Shi Tianlin moved his chair and sat beside Night Sorrow. That's because he doesn't want to talk about you. Wu Qi looked at Shi Tianlin with disdain. After chatting with his senior brothers for a while, Night Sorrow looked at Gong Xian. I'll go to Bamboo Forest Peak later. I plan to stay in Medicine Valley for a while. 13, did you quarrel with 9th senior sister? Huanan asked. Not at all. They're already so old. Why would they quarrel? Senior brothers, don't worry. I remember my promise. I'll take good care of them. I haven't provoked them even once. Haha. I came back to calm myself down, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Nothing has changed in Bamboo Forest Peak. As long as eldest senior brother is alive, or rather, as long as any of your senior brothers are alive, nothing will change, Gong Xian said. Thank you, eldest senior brother. It's good to be back, Night Sorrow nodded. He enjoyed the feeling of being protected by his senior brothers. After drinking some tea, Night Sorrow went to Bamboo Forest Peak. After arriving at the Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow sent away the odd job disciples who were cleaning up the place. He came here to have some peace and quiet. No one disturbed Night Sorrow. Gong Xian once again ordered that no one was allowed to visit Bamboo Forest Peak. Chopping firewood, boiling water, and brewing tea, Night Sorrow felt that this was how life should be. When one's heart was calm, one would naturally not be stained by a speck of dust. Tang Qianqian and Lin Jingyi came to Night Sorrow's place. Please take a seat, senior sisters. Night Sorrow, who was washing his robes, greeted them before continuing to wash his robes. Night Sorrow, what are you doing? Tang Qianqian asked in confusion. Quiet down. I want to avoid some things and think about some things. What have I lost all these years? What do I want? Night Sorrow said as he washed the towel. What have you lost all these years? Why don't you know? Tang Qianqian asked. I've lost some peace. When I was in Medicine Valley, everything was very simple. But now, my life is not peaceful. It's very complicated. It's not what I want. Night Sorrow said. You're a little tired. Lin Jingyi said. Tired. Maybe. Rest for a while and then continue on the road. Night Sorrow nodded. There's no end to life, and there's no end to fighting. Just do enough. Why are you doing this? Lin Jingyi said. Some things have to be resolved, and some things have to be faced. Right now, I couldn't take it anymore and ran back. Yi Shang hung up his clothes to dry, then washed his hands. After starting a fire and boiling water, he sat down. Running back because you were being killed? I don't believe it. Junior brother, what's your cultivation now? Tang Qianqian shook her head and asked. Then tell senior sister, I'm a 5-star king. Night Sorrow said. You're the most outstanding disciple in Medicine Valley, but you're not the sect leader's man. Because you're going to do something big. With your cultivation, how could you run back because you were killed? Tang Qianqian asked with some emotion. Every time, the opponents I meet are different. This time, it's a giant who wants to deal with me. I can't take it anymore, so I have to work hard. Now, I have to settle my state of mind. I won't admit defeat. I'm not willing to be like this. Night Sorrow said. Being forced to retreat without the power to fight back, Night Sorrow said the shame in his heart. Tang Qianqian and Lin Jingyi didn't say anything. Night Sorrow's words were simple, but they contained too many things. Tang Qianqian and Ling Jingyi left. They didn't understand Night Sorrow's world, so they decided to go out and cultivate at the Tianding Gate to understand the outside world. Night Sorrow's days were peaceful. Sometimes, Jun Xuanji would come to tell Night Sorrow about the happenings in the world of reincarnation. Currently, more and more forces were eyeing the eastern district of the world of reincarnation covetously. They were trying to encroach on the territory of the eastern district of the world of reincarnation. In addition, the foundations of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the Red Emperor's kingdom, and the Dark Abyss in Samsara City were all squeezed. However, there was also a force that was destroyed, Heaven-Seizing Island. It was exterminated by the Qing Emperor's dynasty because the Heaven-Seizing Island and the Black Fiend Valley worked together to wipe out the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Qing Emperor brought Summer City and Shengguanhong to Heaven-Seizing Island. Two latest 4 new *M chapter unspecified currency section unspecified currency above $+S with his clone dead, Zhang Taiyang's strength weakened. Naturally, he wasn't a match for the Azure the Arch. However, Ling Tian appeared with his puppets and rescued him. However, the Sky-Seizing Island fell into the hands of the Azure the Arch dynasty. The Qing Emperor's dynasty didn't take the Heaven-Seizing Island's territory, but gave it to the Red Emperor's kingdom and the Dark Abyss. This war was the Qing Emperor's dynasty's business. The Red Emperor's kingdom and the Dark Abyss both participated in the war because they were allies. The Qing Emperor naturally helped them. This matter caused a huge commotion, because everyone knew that Qing Shangjuan, the Azure Emperor, was really going to kill whoever went overboard. The Qing Emperor didn't touch the Wuji sect, not because he was afraid, but because it was too far away. The situation changed rapidly. Night Sorrow could only endure because he wasn't strong enough. A year had passed, and the situation was still in a stalemate. The Qing Emperor's dynasty's main target was the Wuji sect. After 20 years of hard cultivation in the pagoda of time and space, Night Sorrow's spiritual chi cultivation had reached the 6-star king realm. His body and talent energy had also advanced to the peak of the 4-star king realm. He had also officially mastered the heavenly mandate scripture. But this was far from enough. The Qing Emperor ordered him not to return to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In the 4th year of Night Sorrow's cultivation, another big event happened. This time, it was a monstrous event. The Qing Emperor fought with the Wuji sect. He was attacked by 3 puppets and was severely injured. But he also killed Zhang Taiyang, who worked for the Wuji sect. The Qing Emperor was severely injured by Zhang Taiyang's counterattack before he died. But when Ling Tian was about to kill him, Sandalwood appeared. Sandalwood rescued the Qing Emperor. At this time, everyone knew that the Qing Emperor's dynasty had another giant. After 5 million years of accumulation and 4 years of hard cultivation, Sandalwood, that once dazzling genius who had been silent for 5 million years, had risen once again, taking that step to become a powerhouse of the heavens. Night Sorrow returned to the Qing Emperor's palace and went to the Azure Sky Pavilion. The Qing Emperor sat in the Azure Sky Pavilion, but there was an aura of death around him. "Master, how are you?" Night Sorrow's face was full of guilt. Chapter 1282. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. "Master, I'm sorry." Night Sorrow's eyes were moist. He had never felt so guilty before. "Night Sorrow, don't be sad. I can't take it anymore, but I still have your senior brother. Your senior brother succeeded, and now you're the only one left. You have to work hard and prove that I was right. Both of your disciples are talented," the Qing Emperor said. "Master, tell me, how can I heal you?" Even if I have to climb a mountain of blades or dive into a sea of flames, I'll think of a way. Knight Sorrow turned his head and wiped the corners of his eyes. You don't have to worry about that. Work hard and cultivate until you reach the peak of a 6-star king. One more step and you'll be a high king. I'm still worried about you, the Qing Emperor said. Master, tell me about your injuries. How are they? How do I treat them? Knight Sorrow asked anxiously. It's very difficult to recover. It's good enough that I'm still alive. Zhan Tan, the Qing Emperor's dynasty depends on you. Xian Daozi, pick a date and let Zhan Tan ascend the throne. The Qing Emperor brought up the topic again. Master, I won't ascend the throne. But I'll definitely protect the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Zhan Tan shook her head. But I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. The Qing Emperor shook his head. With me here, you don't have to worry. Junior brother's cultivation speed is also very fast. He'll soon rise and be able to take charge. Zhan Tan said. Your Majesty, it's fine if Zhan Tan doesn't ascend the throne. Your Majesty can give her a title. That way, she'll be able to deal with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Read the full text, Xian Daozi said. That's fine. Zhan Tan, have you thought of a title? The Qing Emperor asked. I haven't. Zhan Tan shook her head. You cultivate the Tao of bloodlust and bloodlust, the Qing Emperor said. Xian Daozi, choose a time to make a public announcement. Right now, none of the powers out there know about your master's situation. The war situation won't be too bad. Zhan Tan nodded. Since the Qing Emperor was not in good condition, he naturally had to shoulder the responsibility. Knight Sorrow, Master will help your senior brother ask for a favor. If you still have more soul cultivation fluid, give your senior brother a few drops. Your senior brother's current combat strength is not lower than any of the Sky Masters, but there is still room for improvement. Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow and said. I understand, senior brother. I was so busy that I forgot about this. Knight Sorrow took out 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid and gave them to Sandalwood. Junior brother, you don't have to worry about the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Work hard on your cultivation. When your cultivation level is high enough, we will slaughter the world. Celestial Sect, Martial God Palace, Black Fiend Valley, all of them will die. Zhan Tan's body was filled with killing intent. Master, you haven't told me how to help you recover. Knight Sorrow asked. There is no hope. With the help of the heavenly mandate scripture, my life force has not dissipated. Otherwise, I would have died. Qing Emperor shook his head. No matter what resources are needed, no matter how difficult it is, I will help you recover, Master, Knight Sorrow said. You are about to become a high-level king. There are some things that you need to know. Why is the Wuji sect so arrogant? It is because their inheritance is not from the world of samsara. It is more terrifying than the inheritances of the other worlds. The puppets at the Sky Master level have supreme attribute energy. I don't know what kind of inheritance it is, but I am not the first Sky Master to suffer losses. Zhan Tan, you belong to a branch of the supreme attribute. The puppets at the Sky Master level cannot hurt you. However, you don't have the ability to deal with them now, so you have to bear with it. Qing Emperor said. Knight Sorrow was shocked. This was the celestial sect that was very arrogant without a Sky Master. It was because they had means that others did not have. You too just need to be careful. You too have great potential. There is a lot of room for growth. After you settle down, you will have the ability to fight. Knight Sorrow, work hard. When you reach the monarch plane, I will tell you what I need and what I need to recover. Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow and said. Master, please wait. I will not keep you waiting for too long. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was afraid that there was no hope. It was good that there was hope. At this time, Qing Lin and Qing Wan also entered the Azure Sky Pavilion. Senior brother, senior sister, I have implicated Master. I will solve this problem. Night Sorrow bowed and said. He felt very guilty. This is not your fault. Father did not die, so there is a chance for him to recover. Now that senior brother has risen, our Qing Emperor's dynasty will not fall. Qing Lin said. Qing Lin, Qing Wan, your temperaments have changed a lot recently. I am very happy. I am not afraid of hurting you two today. You two are talented, but the monarch plane is the limit. Sandalwood and Night Sorrow are different. They have a good temperament and a lot of potential. With them around, you two can live a more stable life. Qing Emperor said. Father, we understand. Qing Lin and Qing Wan bowed. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, in the future, you two should cooperate with Sandalwood and Night Sorrow. Trust me. Qing Emperor said sincerely. This was his father's advice. Yi Shang, your eldest senior brother has reached a certain level of maturity. How about I impart the absolute art that you taught me to your eldest senior brother? Emperor Qing asked Yi Shang. Of course. Actually, I am also waiting for senior brother to reach his current level. Then, I will give it to him. Night Sorrow said. After talking about business, Qing Emperor asked Night Sorrow to return to the 9 regions world and cultivate hard. He did not need to care about the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Night Sorrow had no choice but to return to Seven Night City. However, his heart was heavy because he was the one who had implicated the Qing Emperor's current situation. At this time, the concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrated. Night Sorrow answered the call. You know about the Qing Emperor's problem? Datura asked. I know. I just came back from there. Night Sorrow nodded. I can't advise you on this. Don't let this affect your state of mind. Sandalwood has risen. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is still as stable as Mount Tai. Datura said. My master is at a disadvantage. You must be careful. Night Sorrow looked at Datura and said. I will. If it really matures, I will not be polite with them. I will not fight them openly. I will secretly kill them one by one. Datura said. I am still worried about you. Be careful. Night Sorrow reminded Datura. You too. Don't be too anxious. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said. 3 years ago, I became a 6-star king. However, in the past 3 years, I have cultivated in the pagoda of time and space for 60 years. The will of time and space has improved rapidly. However, the will of nothingness is stuck. It has been stuck at a bottleneck for a long time. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1283. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Okay, I'll continue to cultivate. Be careful. Night Sorrow hung up the call. Night Sorrow let out a breath and went to the lakeside house. His heart was in a mess. Strength. What he lacked was strength. There were some things that he had to take responsibility for. After all, the war between the Qing Emperor and the dynasty was because of him. Night Sorrow opened a pot of wine and drank while enjoying the breeze. His strength had increased rapidly in the past 4 years. The cultivation of his main attribute, void, was already at the peak of 6-star king. His spacetime willpower was also at the peak of 4-star. He could advance at any time, but it required time and consolidation. At this time, Xueshi came behind Night Sorrow and gently hugged Night Sorrow. No one wanted things to be like this. It will pass. I know, Xueshi. When I'm done, marry me. Night Sorrow turned around and said to Xueshi. Xueshi's eyes were filled with tears. Then, she bit her lips and nodded. She didn't agree in the past because she felt that the beginning of her relationship with Night Sorrow was too bad. There was no foundation for feelings. However, after so many years, she knew that Night Sorrow was serious. So, when Night Sorrow proposed again, her heart collapsed. Please go to read this book. Night Sorrow didn't stay in the city in the sky. He went directly to the bamboo forest peak in the Medicine Valley and lived an ordinary life again. In the second month after Night Sorrow's return, the spacetime willpower leveled up, which meant that Night Sorrow's body and innate attributes had both reached the level of a 5-star sovereign. This caused Night Sorrow's strength to increase once again. All the disciples of the Medicine Valley knew that the core pillar of the Medicine Valley, the realm master of the 9 domains, Night Sorrow, was at the bamboo forest peak behind the Taishan Peak. However, no one could disturb him. The Medicine Valley had already sealed off the Taishan Peak. Other than the elders, no one could enter. An ordinary axe accompanied Night Sorrow. Every day, he would chop firewood. When he had time, he would deduce the array formation. It was the same for his clone in the heaven-sealing Great Hall. In the 4th month, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness finally evolved, breaking through to 70%. Night Sorrow roared to the sky. His voice echoed in the Medicine Valley. After years of suppression, he finally took the step forward and entered the level of Senior King. King's path was like a staircase, and every step forward was not easy. Night Sorrow could now move forward rapidly because of the help of Samsara Palace. In addition, Night Sorrow also knew that Samsara Palace had given him the greatest display of will. Night Sorrow's current achievements were also funded by elixirs. Night Sorrow had taken Thunder Spirit Elixir, and Night Sorrow often took Spirit Enlightenment Elixir to increase his power of understanding. Night Sorrow's roar stunned the people in the Medicine Valley. They did not know what was going on, but the pressure in the roar made everyone unable to stand up. Monsters and animals all crawled on the ground. After the roar, Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. A 7-star king. Night Sorrow felt that the monarch could not kill him even if he wanted to. He had the attribute of nothingness, which suppressed all other attributes, including will and rules. As for speed, the will of time and space was best at speed. Night Sorrow's original body did not plan to come out of seclusion. He wanted to continue. In the battle that the Qing Emperor's dynasty was facing, even Senior King could not do much. Of course, he was not an ordinary Senior King now. Not long after, Gong Xian and the others came over. I'm going to go back to my house. Night Sorrow was a little embarrassed because his roar had startled many people. Then Night Sorrow said that he had some breakthroughs. Gong Xian and the others naturally congratulated Night Sorrow because it was not easy for Night Sorrow to make a breakthrough at his level. Night Sorrow did not continue to stay in the Medicine Valley. He returned to the city in the sky. He usually sat on the wooden boat by the lake and taught his children how to cultivate. Yi Yujun and Yi Qinyan were also very hard-working in their cultivation. They knew that it was not easy for their father. Jun Xuanji often came to report the situation to Yishang. Now, the situation was very stable. The various factions only knew that something had happened to the Azure the Arch and that he was injured, but they did not know the details. The Azure the Arch Empire had also gained Sandalwood, who was extremely powerful. Thus, they were all very cautious. Night Sorrow felt more at ease now that the situation was stable. It was time for him to step up. Night Sorrow was resting by the lake when Jun Xuanji came to tell Night Sorrow that Sandalwood was in the 9-Chong Pagoda and asked Night Sorrow to go back. Night Sorrow arrived at Chies City and took the teleportation portal to the 9-Chong Pagoda. He saw Sandalwood in the hall. Junior brother, the situation is a little chaotic now. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is not as safe as your world. So, I think it's more appropriate to send Master to your world, Sandalwood said to Night Sorrow. Okay. Night Sorrow nodded. Not bad. You are now a high-level king. Master was right, Sandalwood said with a smile when she saw Night Sorrow's cultivation increase again. Night Sorrow and Sandalwood then went to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Sandalwood told the Qing Emperor her idea. No, Master can't move. Although we have cleaned up the spies in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, there will be more. Once someone notices Master's condition, the situation will not be stable. Sandalwood, you need time to refine the soul cultivation liquid and cultivate that secret art. The Qing Emperor shook his head. I have a teleportation portal disc. I can teleport there instantly without being discovered. Master, you are safe. Only then can senior brother cultivate in peace, Knight Sorrow said. Master, please listen to us this once, Sandalwood said. Your Majesty, we will listen to Lord Blood Emperor, Xian Daozi said. Sandalwood was no longer Her Highness. She was the second most powerful person in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Blood Emperor. Yes, Your Majesty. Please go. Summer City said. The Qing Emperor nodded. He had no combat power now, so there was no point in staying. To avoid being discovered, Knight Sorrow used a teleportation portal disc to send the Qing Emperor to the Nine Chong building and then to Chia City. Not bad. The formation is complete. You are good. The Qing Emperor looked at the shining ice dragon on the other side of the teleportation portal and nodded in satisfaction. He was very satisfied that his disciple's cultivation had improved. I will not go to your world. I will stay here. Xian Daozi, Summer City, both of you go back. Sandalwood needs people by her side. Knight Sorrow will be enough to accompany me, the Qing Emperor said. Let me accompany your Majesty. Xian Daozi did not want to leave. Why are you so talkative? My cultivation is destroyed, but I still have my realm and my will. Do you think King can threaten me? Hurry up and go back. The Qing Emperor glared at Xian Daozi. Your Majesty, Knight Sorrow, I will leave His Majesty to you. Xian Daozi bowed to Knight Sorrow. Uncle Xian Daozi, don't worry. I will take good care of Master. This is all my fault. I will find a way to make up for it, Knight Sorrow said. Your Majesty, that is not what Xian Daozi meant. We will go back. Xian Daozi shook his head. Chapter 1284. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Master, I'm sorry. Knight Sorrow said embarrassedly. You're being silly again. Qing Emperor patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder and shook his head. Master, I'm not far from the monarch realm. As long as there's a glimmer of hope, I'll make you become the powerful Qing Emperor again, Knight Sorrow exhaled and said. I believe you because you're Knight Sorrow. You can do whatever you want. Qing Emperor nodded. Yi Shang brought the Azure Supreme the Arch to a small building by the lake. He wanted to arrange for a maidservant but was rejected by the Azure Supreme the Arch. Why do you need a maid? There are maids in the Azure Sky Pavilion. You can do everything by yourself. This was the Azure Emperor's words. Knight Sorrow took out the life essence and said, Master, I don't know how you can fully recover. This is the life essence. I believe it will help you. Alright, I'll take it. Actually, it's not as serious as you think. It's just that the destructive energy invaded my body, destroying my dantian and meridians. My vitality and cultivation level are still intact, the Lotus Emperor said. You're looking for treasures that can heal your dantian and meridians, right? Knight Sorrow asked. Poison. I was poisoned. It's the evil dragon's venom. It's hard to cure. You don't have to worry about it, Qing Emperor said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew what was going on. He would pay more attention to the situation in the future. Knight Sorrow stayed with Qing Emperor in the lakeside house. They drank tea, chatted, and taught Yi Yujun and Yi Qingyan how to cultivate. Qing Emperor also taught them from time to time. Although he had lost his cultivation, his comprehension and cultivation level were still at the level of a giant. One word of advice from him was enough for them to benefit. Please read this book. Haha. I have a lot of grandsons, but I've never given any pointers to any of them. These two kids are pretty good. Calling them Grandmaster makes me feel good. After giving some pointers to Yi Yujun and Yi Qingyan, Qing Emperor returned to Knight Sorrow, who was making tea. I've only recently had the time to guide them in their cultivation. I've always been busy. Knight Sorrow looked at his son and daughter, his heart filled with regret. You should speed up your cultivation, and your doppelganger should relax. You can study the formation when you have time. If you don't listen to me, I won't teach you the yellow dragon tiger formation, Qing Emperor said. Disciple understands. Knight Sorrow nodded. When there was nothing to do, Knight Sorrow would take Qing Emperor for a walk. Originally, Qing Emperor's condition was not very good, but with the life-spirit fluid, there was no problem for him to maintain his condition. Although his doppelganger was relaxing, Knight Sorrow's cultivation was improving by leaps and bounds. After a cultivator broke through, their strength would increase rapidly. Qing Emperor was worried that Knight Sorrow's foundation would not be stable, so he took the gentleman's scripture and told Knight Sorrow to read it every day. The gentleman's scripture was written by Qing Emperor. It contained some insights on the various states of life, as well as some principles and standards of conduct. When there was a family banquet, Knight Sorrow would also take Qing Emperor to attend it. This time, after attending Knight Sorrow's family banquet, Qing Emperor was a little unhappy. Master, what's wrong? Knight Sorrow asked. Gu family, you've done a good job. I'm not as good as you. Actually, you also have a wife. It's just that we have some conflicts, Qing Emperor said. Wife? Why haven't I heard Master mention it before? Knight Sorrow asked in surprise. Then, Qing Emperor told Knight Sorrow something that many people did not know. Qing Emperor's wife was the mother of Qing Lin and Qing Wan. She was also a powerful figure. In order to pursue the pinnacle of Tao, she had some differences with Qing Emperor. In the end, she left the Qing Emperor's dynasty. But where is Master's wife now? Knight Sorrow asked. A long time ago, someone saw her in Shenwu Great World. After that, there was no news of her. She hated me because she wanted me to pass on my position to Qing Lin and travel the world with her. But you know the truth. Your senior brother Qing Lin and senior sister Qing Wan could not support the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Although Datura and the Red Emperor would not kill them, the Qing Emperor's dynasty would be destroyed, Qing Emperor said in a low voice. Master's wife will understand you one day, Knight Sorrow said. He did not know how to persuade him. I've been a good man, a good emperor, and a good father. As a master, I think I'm good too. The only thing I haven't done is be a good husband. Actually, I miss her a lot. I don't know if she's living well now. Qing Emperor sighed. Knight Sorrow did not know what to say. This was a relationship problem of the older generation. He did not know what to say. However, after Knight Sorrow's family banquet, Qing Emperor seemed to have let go of something and became relaxed every day. Master, you seem to be in a good mood recently. Knight Sorrow asked with a smile. It's okay. I've let go of some things. Master's wife said that if I didn't listen to her, she would definitely surpass me. Now that I've lost, I'll admit defeat if we meet again, Qing Emperor said with a smile. Master, there's nothing wrong with admitting defeat. We're all family, Knight Sorrow said. Mentality. Your mentality and comprehension are both ahead of Master, the Azure Emperor said. Master, you're joking. Knight Sorrow shook his head. Time passed peacefully. The Azure Supreme Arch was very comfortable, especially since Yi Qing Yan knew how to make him happy. The Azure Supreme Arch also guided her in her cultivation every day. Knight Sorrow would sometimes bring Qing Emperor to Chen Chen's tea house to drink tea. Chen Chen loved tea and Qing Emperor was also an expert in this field. Knight Sorrow was the happiest when Qing Emperor could live a happy life. Forever free to look at small %m say. June 3rd Xuanji often sent news. The war was still going on, but it was less intense now. Knight Sorrow knew that one of the celestial sect's heaven pillar level puppets had been destroyed by Qing Emperor and Sandalwood had also heavily injured one. The celestial sect's strength had also been greatly reduced. Now that they did not know the exact situation of Qing Emperor and the Qing Emperor's dynasty had produced such a powerful figure like Sandalwood, no one dared to go too far. Previously, the Azure Emperor's temper wasn't too good, and he would kill anyone who offended him. Needless to say, Sandalwood was even more so. 5 million years ago, she was already known for her prowess in battle and killing. Now that she had become a major figure, if one went overboard, the consequences would be dire. Because of fear, Sandalwood did not dare to go too far. Therefore, whenever Sandalwood had time, he would cultivate in the space acceleration magic treasure given to him by Qing Emperor. Whether it was the soul cultivation liquid or the scripture of heavenly mandate, they were all ways to improve his strength quickly. Night Sorrow was also collecting ancient books to find a way to solve the problem of Qing Emperor. Qing Emperor was a powerful figure and could not repair his dantian and veins. The soul cultivation liquid could help Father Gu, but it could not help Qing Emperor. The other thing was poison. That was the most fatal. Now, Yi Shang was looking for clues. No matter what price he had to pay, he had to help the Azure Supreme the Arch recover. Chapter 1285. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Night Sorrow had read a lot of ancient books and understood a little about Qing Emperor's situation. 2 materials were needed to solve the problem. One was Dao Illumination, and the other was White Tiger Blood. Dao Illumination was a natural treasure that was born when a world was first created. Needless to say, White Tiger Blood was a demonic beast on the same level as dragons. Its combat strength was extremely terrifying. However, Night Sorrow knew that it would be easy to solve the problem with a clue. This was the direction. Night Sorrow was in a good mood as he walked out of the city lord's mansion. What made you so happy? Qing Emperor asked when he saw Night Sorrow arrive at the lakeside house. I found out something. How have you been feeling recently, Master? Night Sorrow asked. Much better. The venomous centipede dragon was tormenting me for a while. The life spirit fluid is very effective. Although it can't completely solve the problem, at least the venomous centipede dragon is no longer wreaking havoc in my body. My situation is much better, Qing Emperor said as he stretched out his arms. That's good. Master, don't worry. I'll slowly think of a way. Master, please trust me this once, Night Sorrow said as he helped Qing Emperor sit down. Night Sorrow, I accepted you as my disciple because I have high hopes for you. I trust you. I feel that you are resilient and can do anything well. Although you haven't been under my tutelage for long, I am very satisfied with everything you have done. Really? Come, let's drink a few cups, Qing Emperor said. Master, can you drink less? Night Sorrow said. Drinking? You're embarrassing yourself. At this time, a woman wearing a loose robe appeared and glared at Qing Emperor. Yufei. You're here. Am I in a sorry state right now? Qing Emperor had a trace of awkwardness on his face. No. Although he doesn't have a cultivation base, his vitality isn't bad. He's still the same Qing Shangjuan, the woman said. That's good. Night Sorrow, this is my wife, Misty Rain, Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow bowed and said, Mistress, it's my fault for causing Master to suffer. However, I will definitely think of a way to help Master recover. It's none of your business. Qing Shangjuan, are you a newbie in the Jianghu? Heavenly Monarch Yufei looked at the Azure the Arch and said. What's the big deal? How can a man's shoes not get wet when he walks by the river? I lost this time, but I didn't die. I'll fight again in the future, the Qing Emperor said as he tidied up his robe. Shameful. Was it that old thing Ling Tian? Gather everyone. We'll charge over and kill him. Misty Rain's face was filled with killing intent. There's no rush. It's not important. I'm very happy that you're back. This injury was worth it, the Qing Emperor said. Master, Mistress, I'll leave you to it. I have something else to do, Night Sorrow bowed and said. Night Sorrow could tell that the Qing Emperor and his wife had a lot to talk about. It wasn't appropriate for him to stay. Translator, Nyoibo Studio Editor, Nyoibo Studio. Night Sorrow returned home to the city in the sky. He was very happy because he knew that the Qing Emperor cared a lot about Misty Rain. Misty Rain also cared a lot about the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor invited Misty Rain into the lakeside pavilion. You won't leave again, right? You're half dead. How can I leave? I left because I didn't have to worry. I went to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Was that the first commander of the dynasty? Can't you care more about your son and daughter? Monarch Yufei said. We have different opinions on this. You were unhappy because I cared about sandalwood, but I have a different opinion. I didn't say it before because I thought you could see through it. I'll tell you today. Qing Lin, Qing Wan, and Qing Shan are good, but they're not great talents. If they sit in positions they shouldn't be in, they'll die. They won't be able to sit still and take responsibility. As a father, I just want them to live a peaceful life. I don't ask for much. I just want them to be alive, the Qing Emperor said sincerely. In the past, I thought that opportunities were very important. You had to give your children opportunities. Now, it seems like you were right because Qing Lin and Qing Wan are doing well. Sandalwood didn't disappoint you either. Heavenly Monarch Yufei nodded. It's rare that you approve of sandalwood. Qing Lin and Qing Wan don't need to have great achievements. They just need to be by my side when I want to see them. Sandalwood and Night Sorrow are different. They're great talents, real great talents. The Qing Emperor's voice was a little loud when he talked about his disciples. Sandalwood is very capable and has a good temperament. He knows that I've always had opinions about him and even disliked him, but he's always been respectful to me. I approve of him. But that little guy just now, you arranged the first commander of the empire for a 7-star king with his cultivation level. How can Qing Lin and Qing Wan endure this? Their son and daughter are already concerned about their reputation. Where is their reputation now? Misty Rain said. Yufei, there are no outsiders here. I'll tell you the truth. Night Sorrow is the one I think the most highly of, even more so than Sandalwood. You should have seen Qing Lin and Qing Wan when you went back. Did they have any dissatisfaction with Night Sorrow? They were now very respectful towards Yi Shang because of his ability. Because Yi Shang could do things that they couldn't. Yi Shang had a good temperament, was kind and benevolent. He cultivated his virtue and had a very mellow body of merit. He wasn't even 200 years old and was a high-level sovereign king. Wasn't this enough? I hope you can understand him better before you come to a conclusion. Cough, cough. The Qing Emperor said a lot in one breath when he talked about Night Sorrow. His body couldn't take it anymore and started coughing. Why are you so agitated? I'll understand. Misty Rain glared at the Qing Emperor. Mother, what do you want to understand? I'll tell you. Qing Lin and Qing Wan also came here. Night Sorrow. When I say that your father is biased, he talks about Night Sorrow. Qing Wan, tell him. Misty Rain looked at her daughter and said. All right. In the beginning, I also felt unconvinced because he's just a grassroot in an aboriginal world. But that's not the case. I have the right to speak about his matters. Qing Wan said some things about Night Sorrow. She knew a lot because she had investigated carefully before. You're not exaggerating? Misty Rain asked doubtfully. Sister really isn't exaggerating. Mother, actually, you should admire father on this point. He took in 2 disciples and both of them are outstanding. They're much stronger than us brothers. Qing Lin said. Changed, you've all changed. Misty Rain looked at her children and said. Mother, it's true that people have pursuits, but there are some things that you have to acknowledge. Junior Brother Knight is far above us in terms of intelligence and strategy. The only thing he lacks is his cultivation. He was able to fight a 5-star king when he was a 2-star king. He has already proven his ability. Now, he's just lacking some time. Qing Wan said. You're still speaking up for him. Don't you know that your father is like this today because of him? Qinglin, tell me, aren't you angry? Yufei looked at her son. She just wanted to seek justice for her children. Chapter 1286. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Everything has changed. Misty Rain's tone was much calmer. Yufei, I told Night Sorrow that when I see you again, I'll admit defeat. Now I've lost. Qing Emperor said. Qing Shangjuan, how can I endure your words? In fact, you've won because my daughter and son have a demeanor I didn't expect under your influence. Misty Rain said. Mother, please come back. The pursuit of the pinnacle of Tao is the same everywhere. We all miss you. Qing Lin bowed and said. Bastard. Do you think that Mother doesn't care about you anymore and doesn't want to come back? Mother went to the alternate dimension to explore and was trapped inside. She waited for a cycle and waited for millions of years before coming out. Yufei glared at Qing Lin because she felt that her son's words meant that she didn't miss her children. That's great. Father, Mother, shall we go back? Qing Wan said happily. No, there's only one powerful Qing Emperor in the world of samsara. There's no disabled old man. You can go back. Night Sorrow can take care of Father. Qing Emperor didn't want to go back. Go back. Mother is here. If something happens to the Empire and Sandalwood can't handle it, send a message. Yufei said. Qing Lin and Qing Wan left. Misty Rain came back to accompany Qing Emperor. They were very relieved. Originally, they were very relieved when Night Sorrow was here. This defender formation is very advanced. Even a Heaven Master would have to spend a lot of effort to break it. After Qing Lin and Qing Wan left, Yufei looked back at Chi's city and said. It's Night Sorrow's masterpiece. It's an advanced Heavenly Master level ice ceiling illusionary killing formation with the ice dragon skeleton as the core. Qing Emperor said with a smile. He was very sure about Night Sorrow's achievements in Formation Dao. Speaking of your disciple, you're so energetic. Misty Rain glared at Qing Emperor. $, Grandmaster, I'm here. Have a taste of the steamed fish I just learned. Yi Qingyan ran over with a food box. Good. Very good. Did you bring wine? Qing Emperor asked with a smile. Father didn't let me bring wine for you, Grandmaster. You only like the 100 herbs wine made by my mother. I stole this wine. Yi Qingyan took out a jar of wine. Qing Shangjuan, I really admire you. You become like this now? Yufei couldn't believe her eyes. Haha. Very good. Qing Yan, this is your Grand Preceptor's wife, Emperor Qing introduced. Greetings, Grand Preceptor's wife. You're so beautiful. Yi Qingyan smiled and greeted her. You really know how to talk. Not bad. Yufei nodded. She quite liked Yi Qingyan, who was full of spirit. Grandmaster's wife, have a taste. Grandmaster, you said the fish you caught was delicious, but I don't know how to fish. I've been fishing for the whole morning, but I'm afraid my father will see. Yi Qingyan put down the chopsticks. Fishing? Why are you afraid your father will see? Yufei was puzzled. My father doesn't care about these things, but he doesn't like to kill. He doesn't like to kill for no reason, even if it's a fish. I just don't want him to be unhappy. Yi Qingyan said. What? Senior King doesn't kill? What kind of joke is this? Yufei was stunned. It's not that he doesn't kill. My father said that he has killed thousands, if not tens of thousands, but it's not his intention. Everything has a spirit and has the right to live in this world. Yi Qingyan said. Qingyan, go back. Remember to come back tomorrow to cultivate. Grandmaster will teach you swordsmanship. Qing Emperor nodded at Yi Qingyan. As soon as Yi Qingyan left, Yi Yujun also came with wine. Grandmaster, I was caught stealing wine. Mother and concubine found out. They said it's fine if you don't drink too much, but don't let my father find out. Grandmaster, I'm leaving. Concubine Shueshi is too cruel. If I don't meet her requirements, she'll really beat me. Yi Yujun left after leaving the wine behind. Qing Emperor, you're really something. Is this how you teach other people's children? Misty Rain stared at Qing Emperor. Haha. What's wrong with that? You're simple, kind, and filial. While respecting your father, you secretly let me, an old cripple, live a better life. The Lotus Emperor laughed and said. Yufei closed her eyes and thought for a while. Maybe this is life. Besides, you're not an old cripple. You'll get better. Knight Sorrow came to greet them every day. He accompanied Qing Emperor and Yufei to drink a pot of tea before going to do his own things. Suppressed? Qing Emperor, what else are you hiding from me? I checked him. Why was I suppressed? A very strong suppression. Yufei watched Knight Sorrow leave again and asked Qing Emperor. Yufei, this is Knight Sorrow's secret. Even if we're husband and wife, I don't want to say it unless it's necessary. Not only does he have a virtuous body, but he also has a supreme attribute. I've seen it. According to the current development of the 9 regions world, Knight Sorrow's virtue will become more and more profound. In the future, he'll become the virtuous saint. Qing Emperor said. Shengjuan, you've won. You've really won. The disciples you support are all worth supporting and nurturing. No matter if it's temperament or potential, they're indeed beyond our children's reach. Misty Rain said. Then you should be nicer to them. Every time they come to greet you, you only nod and don't say a word. Qing Emperor said. I know. Are you bored? Why don't we go out and walk around? I'll accompany you if you want to drink wine or tea. Yufei nodded. Looking at Qing Emperor who wasn't in a good state, her heart suddenly ached. Because when she wasn't around, Qing Emperor wasn't living very well either. That's it. This place isn't bad either. Yufei, others don't know, but you should know that I don't have many days left. I'm very satisfied to be able to see you in my last moments. Qing Emperor said. I'll think of a way. Ming Dao, White Tiger Blood. I've already arranged for people to search for Ming Dao. It's just that this white tiger blood is too difficult. Yufei said. Don't think too much. This might be fate. Qing Emperor looked at Yufei and said. The white tiger is a divine beast. It has only appeared in the constellation world, and that's a forbidden area. The powerhouses can't enter. If others enter, they'll die. Yufei exhaled and said. Qing Emperor's injuries couldn't be seen by others, but he could feel it. After looking at the ancient records again, Knight Sorrow went to the lakeside building. He knew that Misty Rain had disrespected him last time, but he didn't mind because she was his master's wife. Master, your body isn't well. Some pills won't be of much help to you. These are the detoxification pearl and the longevity limitless pill. Perhaps they'll be of help to you. Knight Sorrow took out the detoxification pearl and the longevity limitless pill. Isn't the detoxification pearl Qingyin's? Why did you bring it here? She often goes out to train. She needs it, Qing Emperor said. Chapter 1287. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. The website is clean and has few advertisements. I love this kind of website the most. You must give it a good review. Knight Sorrow had found the ancient records and found that the evil dragon's venomous centipede would constantly erode people's vitality. Therefore, he took the detoxification pearl that Shiyu had given to Yi Qingyan and prepared the longevity limitless elixir. Since you're so considerate, I'll give it a try. Don't delay your cultivation because of me, the Azure Emperor said. Okay, Master. You can decide on the heavenly mandate scripture yourself, Night Sorrow said. Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow for a moment and nodded. Okay, you can go back now. Shangjuan, hurry up and see if it has any effect. If it can extend your lifespan by 10,000 years, there will be many more opportunities, Misty Rain said as she watched Night Sorrow leave. Qing Emperor didn't have any energy himself, so Yufei helped him to draw the energy of the detoxification pearl into his body. After the treatment, Qing Emperor nodded. The effect is not bad. It can suppress the toxicity if I keep it with me in the future. After putting away the detoxification pearl, Qing Emperor also ate the longevity limitless elixir. Then, he was stunned. How is it? Yufei asked anxiously. The longevity limitless elixir is very powerful. It actually restored part of my veins. According to this trend, I might be able to last 10,000 years, Qing Emperor said as he felt his body. Good, very good. Then I feel more at ease. Yufei breathed a sigh of relief. There's something else I need to tell you. The most powerful thing in the Celestial Sect is the Heaven Pillar Puppet. Actually, I had a chance to escape, but Xia Cheng and Xian Daozi couldn't. Back when Yo Er died, I didn't want to see my old friend die in front of me, so I blocked 2 of Xian Daozi's saber strikes for him. The puppet has a destructive spell formation, and its destructive power is incredibly powerful. Combined with the Wretch Dragon's venomous centipede, it harvests life force. End. Qing Emperor said. Very sinister. Yufei's words were filled with anger. If it were any other Sky Master, they would have died on the spot. I was able to come back because Night Sorrow taught me a set of heaven-defying methods, the true scripture of heavenly mandate, Qing Emperor said. Is it the true scripture of heavenly mandate that he mentioned just now? Yufei asked. That's right. The heavenly mandate scripture can lock in one's own energy and prevent it from leaking out. Therefore, even if I am severely injured, the destructive energy and the evil dragon venomous centipede cannot kill me on the spot. This is because I have already cultivated the leakless real body. He just mentioned to me that I can decide to teach it to you, Qing Emperor said. The leakless true body is the only way to restrain the tribulation of wind and fire. Qing Shangjuan, you're really lucky. However, it's not suitable for me to learn it. After all, you're master and disciple. I'm not qualified to learn it. Yufei shook her head. Since he mentioned it, it means that he doesn't mind. I think it's okay, Qing Emperor said. Shangjuan, you cultivate the path of noble. You cultivate your body, morality, and heart. Naturally, you won't do things that don't involve you. You're master and disciple. There's nothing wrong with you learning it. If I learn it, I'll ruin your reputation. We'll talk about it when it's really necessary, Misty Rain said. Okay, then I'll listen to you. Qing Emperor knew that Yufei couldn't bring herself to do this because she was hostile to Night Sorrow in the beginning. Your disciple is really amazing. The body of merit, the supreme attributes, the space-time attributes, the realm lord, the divine artifact of heavenly path, and the leakless real body. What can't he do? Yufei stretched out her fingers and counted the heaven-defying aspects of Night Sorrow. Heaven-level alchemy master, armorer, and matrix master. Qing Emperor added a few more. Our children can only be considered outstanding. Night Sorrow and Sandalwood can be considered extraordinary. You're right about this, Yufei said. When Night Sorrow came again, Yufei asked Night Sorrow to serve tea and placed an incense burner in the pavilion. Night Sorrow understood what was going on. He went forward and bowed to greet her. Then, he offered the tea with both hands. Disciple Night Sorrow greets mistress. Good, very good. A few days ago, because Qing Lin and Qing Wan didn't do as well as you in the Qing Emperor's dynasty and didn't have as high a status as you, they ostracized you. This is mistress's fault. It won't happen again in the future. How they are treated in mistress's eyes, you will be treated the same. After drinking the tea, Heavenly Monarch Yufei spoke very seriously. This was her recognition of Yi Shang and also a promise. Mistress, you're thinking too much. I will only do my part as a disciple, Night Sorrow said. You're just like your master, so stubborn. Heavenly Monarch Yufei muttered. Night Sorrow, have you had any problems with your recent cultivation? Qing Emperor asked. I'm not confused, but I have some enlightenment. I can't continue like this. I feel that my state of mind can't keep up with the pace of my cultivation. Although I can improve my realm with meditation, I've already reached a limit. Next, I plan to train my heart with battle. Doesn't the celestial sect want to fight? I'm going to fight. Night Sorrow said. But your current cultivation is still a little low. Once you meet a ruthless person, you'll easily die. Qing Emperor was a little worried. A few years ago, I always felt that I had lost something, but I couldn't figure it out. After my state of mind couldn't keep up, I thought about it carefully and realized that what I had lost was my sharpness. The sharpness and courage to fight against everything. If I want to suppress the Qing Emperor's dynasty, I can suppress the Qing Emperor's dynasty. This is disrespect, this is looking down on me. I can't tolerate it. So what if I die in battle? If this doppelganger dies, I'll just condense another one and fight again. I'll kill whoever humiliates me. Night Sorrow's eyes were full of fighting spirit. Shang Jun, don't stop the child. I have resources here to replenish the soul. If the child's doppelganger dies, just condense another one. Seeing Night Sorrow's aura, Misty Rain's eyes were full of admiration. Don't stop, don't stop. Night Sorrow, when I first saw you, your eyes were the same as now. You dared to fight against the world, Qing Emperor said. I've always been cautious. Sometimes, it's right to do things according to your heart. I don't cause trouble, but I'm not afraid of trouble. If anyone wants to fight, I'll fight to the end. I, Night Sorrow, am not afraid of anyone. I used to do so, but this time, I've retreated. I'm no longer the same person. Night Sorrow bowed to Qing Emperor and Misty Rain and left. Good. That's domineering. Good job. Misty Rain slammed the table and said. Isn't he good? Haha. Qing Emperor laughed. It was too difficult for his wife to praise someone. Shang Jun, you're good at judging people. No one in the world of reincarnation can compare to you in this aspect, Misty Rain said. Back then, I didn't know how to give in and I disappointed you. I didn't do well in this aspect. However, Night Sorrow did well in this aspect. I heard from Lord Yu and Qing Yan that as long as their mother and aunt spoke, Night Sorrow would definitely shrink his neck and listen. He would never say a word back, Qing Emperor said. What's so good about him? He doesn't sound like a man with a wife. Yufei glared at Qing Emperor. I don't have the ability. Why can't he have the ability? Qing Emperor retorted. But to be honest, his cultivation is a little low. It's still very risky. Misty Rain changed the topic. Chapter 1288. Genius remembers love in 1 second go. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Read the full text. Why are you at ease? Misty Rain felt that it shouldn't be. She was worried. Qing Emperor was much more at ease. He's not a greenhouse flower. He killed his way out. He stood out from a weak sect and became the realm lord. He experienced a lot. It's not an exaggeration to say that fighting is his forte. Did you see the ice dragon skeleton? He went to the ice dragon realm and got it. Many people went to the ice dragon realm. They were all 7-star kings and 8-star kings. The Qing Emperor's dynasty, the Qing Emperor's guards, and the blood robe guards of the Dark Abyss also went. There were teams from all the major worlds, but only one person got the ice dragon skeleton, and that was Night Sorrow, the Qing Emperor said. To be able to get the ice dragon skeleton, it does require skill and heaven-defying opportunity. Misty Rain nodded. She also knew about the ice dragon realm. This is heaven-defying opportunity. He still has the ice dragon skeleton and the dark ice tiger king skeleton. He just didn't take them out, the Qing Emperor said with a smile. Ice Dragon Skeleton. The ice dragon skeleton that is used as the core of the Matrix and that even the Sky Master giants can't break? Yu Fei's eyes were full of surprise. Yes, this bastard boy avoided layers of blockades and found the ancestral land of the ice dragon. He stole 2 sets of ice dragon skeleton, but he was caught. The ice dragon asked for one of the ice dragon skeleton as his son. Now, Night Sorrow still has one. This is also the reason why he formed a friendship with the ice dragons and was able to get the true scripture of heavenly mandate, the Qing Emperor said. So many people went to the ice dragon realm, and he was able to gain a lot. Of course, it's inseparable from opportunity and luck. Personal ability is the main factor. Well, I hope he grows up smoothly. Heavenly Monarch Yu Fei nodded. Without saying anything to anyone, Night Sorrow made some preparations and arrived at the 9 grand floors with Lai Kong on his back. As soon as Night Sorrow stepped out of the teleportation portal, he saw Summer City standing in front of the 9-story building's main hall with her hands behind her back. Uncle Xia, I'm back, said Night Sorrow. Battle intent soaring to the heavens, very good. 7-star King, Your Highness cultivation speed is unprecedented, Summer City said as he looked at Night Sorrow. Is my senior brother still in seclusion? Night Sorrow asked. That's right. Now is a rare moment of respite. He must adapt to his current realm. He succeeded, and he succeeded at the right time. Summer City sighed. If Sandalwood hadn't appeared in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Uncle Xia, can you tell me about the Celestial Sex Heaven Pillar puppet? Night Sorrow asked. Summer City nodded. Actually, His Majesty wouldn't have been like this. He did it for me and Xian Daozi. His Majesty was injured because he blocked 2 blades for Xian Daozi. Summer City then explained the situation to Night Sorrow. The reason why the Celestial Sect was a taboo for many people was because of their secret inheritance. The most terrifying of them all was the puppet technique, which was a top-grade puppet technique. The top-grade puppet technique was the same as Night Sorrow's ice dragon formation. It could recognize its master and communicate with its master's mind. The most powerful point was that its defense was extremely strong and difficult to destroy. The Qing Emperor had destroyed one of the Celestial Sect's Heaven Pillar puppets, which was a great loss to the Celestial Sect. I understand, Uncle Xia. If there's anything, just send me a message, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, where are you going? Summer City asked. I've tolerated them for so long. Do they really think I'm scared? Of course I'm going to kill them, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness is now a high-ranking king. You're not suited for this kind of war. His Majesty and Lord Sandalwood won't agree, Summer City said. Master and Master's wife have agreed. We can't lack the conviction to press forward at any time. During this time, I've been lacking the will to fight and the momentum to press forward, so we must fight. Yi Shan's conviction was very firm. All right, if His Majesty agrees, then we have nothing to say. But you can't do without me. Xian Daozi and Sheng Wanhong appeared. Uncle Xian Daozi, Lord Sage is here. Sit. Night Sorrow invited them into the hall. Your Highness, don't call me Lord Sage. Summer City, Xian Daozi, and I are His Majesty's old brothers. Although we sometimes have conflicts, we're still brothers. You can call Summer City and Uncle Xian Daozi. If you don't mind, you can call me that too, Sheng Wanhong said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow is young and can't take on much responsibility, but I still have to do what needs to be done. I won't bully the weak, but I'm not afraid of the strong. This time, I plan to go to the Celestial Sect and capture their high-ranking king and kill them. I'll kill everyone I see until they have no more high-ranking king. That bastard hurt my master, so he must pay the price, Night Sorrow said. Well said. Uncle Xia will accompany you. Summer City patted the warblade at his waist. Old man, we haven't fought side by side for many years. Now that we've come together, the feeling of killing is gone. Let's go and try again with your highness, Shangguanhong said to Summer City. Don't worry. I won't leave you outside. If I can survive, you can come back alive. Summer City nodded. His Majesty took a blow for me. This battle can't be without me, Xian Daozi said. J0, no, senior brother Sandalwood is still in seclusion. The Qing Emperor's dynasty can't be without someone. Uncles have to stay behind. Knight Sorrow shook his head. What's so hard about that? Go to the Qing Emperor's palace and gather the military officials. Have Qinglin and Qingwan handle the matters of the Qing Emperor's palace for now. That's enough. You're the first commander of the dynasty. You have the right to say that, Shangguanhong said. That's right. Qinglin and Qingwan can handle some matters. If something big happens, crush the communication crystal and we'll come back. Xian Daozi nodded in agreement. All right, let's do that. Knight Sorrow brought the three of them to the Qing Emperor's palace. Then, he sent the Qing Emperor's guard to gather the officials, including the commander and the commander of the army. Within an hour, the backbone of the Qing Emperor's dynasty had all arrived. Junior brother, is there anything you need to arrange? Qinglin asked. Yes. Some of what I'm going to say today may be beyond my authority, or it may be inappropriate. Please bear with it. Knight Sorrow nodded. Junior brother, just say it. Father is in seclusion, and so is big brother. You and your uncles should be in charge of the dynasty, Qingwan said to the people from Summer City. Chapter 1289. Junior brother, be careful, Qingwan said. Thank you for your concern, senior sister. I will. Before His Majesty and Lord Blood Emperor come out of seclusion, the two of you will be in charge of dynasty's affairs, Knight Sorrow said as he walked out of the hall. We wish you a triumphant return, Your Highness. The people in the Qing Emperor's palace all saluted Knight Sorrow. Uncles, do you have anything to prepare? Knight Sorrow asked after they left the Qing Emperor's palace. There's nothing to prepare. We'll be ready to kill at any time. We'll listen to Your Highness's command. In the past, Your Highness could suppress the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's nation. This time, we can also take care of the Celestial Sect, Summer City said. Old man. That's an army battle. There's only the four of us now. Shangguanhong looked at Summer City with disdain. Tactics with more people and arrangements with fewer people. Let's go back to the 9 stories tower first. I'll make some preparations, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Originally, Knight Sorrow was prepared to fight by himself. Now that Summer City and the others were here, he naturally had to prepare more. After arriving at the 9 stories tower, Knight Sorrow took out the spatial copper essence and began to refine the formation discs. After 2 hours, 3 teleportation formation discs were refined. Knight Sorrow gave one to each of Summer City. This is for our retreat after the battle. Before the battle, I'll set up a teleportation formation in a safe area. Activate the formation disc and we'll be able to leave instantly and arrive at the teleportation formation in a safe area. Your Highness, some cities have methods to interfere with the operation of formations. The teleportation formation disc might not work well, Shangguanhong reminded Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow smiled. I've thought about this. Important cities will set up large-scale formations to interfere with the operation of teleportation formations and other formations. However, I also have a way to make this interference ineffective. If the teleportation formation is ineffective, activate this, and it'll cancel out the interference. As he spoke, Knight Sorrow took out a few more lockdown formation discs and gave one to each person. Your Highness, you have a lot of treasures? Xian Daozi and the others were stunned. Don't worry, there's more. This formation disc is an illusion formation disc. Once it's activated, others won't be able to see us if they don't notice us. Everyone should keep this as a backup. I don't know if it'll come in handy. In addition, this is the most crucial one. It's a life-saving formation disk called the Sky Sealing Illusion Formation. If we encounter a strong enemy and can't handle it, we can activate this formation disk and throw it out. Then, we can activate the teleportation formation disk and run away. Yishang took out 3 of the highest grade array disks he had refined, the Sky Sealing Illusionary Killing Array, and handed them to Xia Cheng's trio. Your subordinate knows why the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's nation lost so miserably. Your Highness's arrangements are foolproof, Xian Daozi said as he fiddled with the disk. Nothing is absolute. Anything can happen, so it's only right to have a backup plan. These 3 bottles are detoxification pills. If the situation is really bad, then listen to my signal. If I want to poison you, you'll have to take the antidote first. Although it's a bit unscrupulous, this is war. All means are for victory. Against people like the Celestial Sect, I don't care about the curses of others. Night Sorrow gave the soul-extinguishing smoke detoxification pills to Summer City's trio. Old man, Xian Daozi, the battle hasn't even started yet. Why am I so excited? Shang Wanhong said as he shook his neck. The Celestial Sect will wait for our revenge. Summer City's eyes shone with a cold light. Also, I want to emphasize that if you 3 uncles come with me, then you have to fight according to the agreed tactics. If you're not harmonious and united, something will happen, Night Sorrow reminded the 3 of them. No problem. If you want to massacre the city, we'll massacre the city. If you want to fight and run, we'll follow behind you, Xian Daozi said. Don't massacre the city. Kill the important people and rob cultivation resources. In other words, rob the city lord's mansion. Fight one battle and change the battlefield. Make them tired and run for their lives. They can't afford it. Night Sorrow explained his plan. It was the tactic he was best at because he had done it many times before. Then, the 4 of them set off. Night Sorrow also brought Ice Qilin. After a few teleportations, the 4 of them entered the Celestial Sect's territory. Night Sorrow took out a map and marked the Celestial Sect's territory with a number. Uncles, let's play big. The Celestial Sect's most important cities are Celestial City and Peerless City. Celestial City isn't as big as Peerless City, but it's the Celestial Sect's mountain gate and origin. This place can't be taken without a powerhouse. Let's go take care of their real resource and cultural center, Peerless City. Night Sorrow pointed on the map. Okay. Summer City's 3 people nodded. Uncles, you're all sovereigns. It's more difficult to sneak in after entering the city. We have to fight as fast as we can. We'll teleport over and start killing. Break the teleportation array, then rush to the city lord's mansion. After killing people and robbing resources, we won't linger. We'll set the place on fire and leave, Night Sorrow said. Summer City's 3 people nodded. Night Sorrow first went outside the small city and set up a hidden teleportation array. Then, he met up with the 4 people from Summer City. This small city was 1,000,000 miles away from Peerless City, which happened to be the furthest distance from the teleportation array. In the evening, Night Sorrow and Summer City's 3 people arrived at the teleportation array in this small city and began teleporting towards Peerless City. As soon as they stepped out of the teleportation array, someone shouted, "Who are you?" Sovereigns have to report to the city lord's mansion and explain why you're here. I'm here to kill people. Report my ass. Summer City's man waved his hand and slashed. The person guarding the teleportation array was also a sovereign, but he couldn't compare to Summer City's peak sovereign. He was directly suppressed by Summer City's gravity mystic technique. Die. Shang Wanhong's longsword was like a viper, stabbing directly into the sovereign's forehead. Xian Daozi also cut down the guards around the teleportation portal. The 3 of them work together in perfect harmony. They have clones that can send messages. They'll set up a teleportation array to support us. We don't have much time. Let's go. After removing the teleportation crystal from the teleportation array and destroying the array, Night Sorrow flew towards the city lord's mansion. After Summer City took the sovereign's storage ring, he, Xian Daozi, and Sheng Guanhong followed behind Night Sorrow. They realized that Night Sorrow's speed was terrifying. A 7-star king was actually about the same as them. At this time, Night Sorrow's body was surrounded by the power of space and time. With the help of the space-time intent, his speed was extremely fast. When they arrived at the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow first threw out a trap and kill array, splitting the guards into groups. The 4 of them started a massacre. Ice Qilin used the frozen domain, completely suppressing the guards below the high-rank king level. Uncle Summer, follow me to the warehouse. Uncle Xian Daozi, Uncle Shengguan, kill the important people and steal their storage rings. With a low roar, Night Sorrow waved the space splitter and charged towards the city lord's mansion. Chapter 1290. The main reason was that Summer City, Xian Daozi, and Sheng Guanhong were not ordinary sovereigns. They had cultivated for countless years, and their foundation and strength were far beyond theirs. Read the full article. The guards in the storehouse had high cultivation, but they could not withstand Night Sorrow's Great Emperor reincarnation / and Summer City's universe's 7 kills. After entering the storehouse, Night Sorrow's soul power exploded, and all the resources and materials were moved into the empty spirit pearl. Summer City collected the storage rings of the people they killed. After moving the materials, Night Sorrow and Summer City went to the city lord's mansion again. At this time, Sheng Guanhong and Xian Daozi's eyes were bloodshot, and the ground was littered with corpses. Small fries are boring. Let's kill the high-leveled people in the array, and then rush out. We'll set the place on fire as we go. Night Sorrow's body flashed, and he landed on the back of the Mystic Ice Unicorn Tiger. Then, he put away the trap array disc, and continuously waved the space splitter. Summer City's saber was constantly attacking, and every move was fatal. Sheng Guanhong's longsword was as sharp as a poisonous snake. He was also of the fire element, and during the gap in the battle, he released fire energy to set the city lord's mansion on fire. After Xian Daozi put away the storage rings, he followed Night Sorrow, Summer City, and Xian Daozi. They killed as they rushed out, and at the same time, they set the place on fire. The 4 of them flew very quickly. Even if there were reinforcements, they would not be able to catch up so quickly. After a quarter of an hour, the 4 of them rushed out of the city. Go back and tell Ling Tian that we will fight to the death. Uncles, let's go. Night Sorrow shouted at the pursuing peerless city guards. He waved at Summer City and activated the teleportation array disc. At this time, the pursuers were still some distance away, so they had enough time to activate the teleportation array disc. The website's pages are clean, and there are few advertisements. I love this kind of website. You must give it a good review. Night Sorrow had just returned to the teleportation array he had left behind when Summer City's 3 people came back. Haha. It's so comfortable. Peerless City's city lord's mansion has been picked by us like this. For countless years, no one has been able to do this. I don't think anyone has ever thought of doing this. Sheng Guanhong laughed loudly. Ling Tian, that old thing, is probably going to vomit blood from anger. Summer City nodded, he was also incomparably carefree. Let's drink and take a break. We'll continue. If we don't torture them to death, then we'll consider ourselves useless. Night Sorrow took out a few jars of wine and distributed them to everyone. Then, he took out all the resources he had plundered from the city lord's mansion. Your Highness, what are you doing? Summer City asked. Once the robbery is successful, we'll split the loot on the spot. Uncles, take whatever you need, Night Sorrow said. I still have a bunch here, Xian Daozi said, pulling out a few storage rings and transferring out the items inside. Take as much as you want. This is just the beginning. Their precious resources should be in the Celestial Sect's headquarters. However, even ordinary resources are extremely valuable. These are worth at least 200,000 Saint Spirit Stones, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, we're all alone. It's fine as long as we have enough resources. Your Highness has a world behind him. Just take it, Shang Guanhong said. That's right. We really don't need it. It's not like it's anything good. Xian Daozi waved his hand. Then we'll talk about it later. Let's take a break. We're going to the second city. Knight Sorrow took the resources and pointed at the map. At this moment, in Peerless City, Ling Tian was furious. They had suffered heavy losses this time. Many sovereigns had been killed, and the city lord's mansion's resources had been plundered clean. After calming down, Ling Tian looked at the surviving guards of the city lord's mansion and asked, "Are you sure they're from the Qing Emperor's dynasty?" "Yes, this subordinate wasn't from here before. I was just transferred here. Last time, when Sect Master fought with them, this subordinate saw it with my own eyes." This subordinate remembers the masked man very clearly. The guard bowed and described the situation of Yi Shang's group of 4. Night Sorrow, Summer City, Xian Daozi, and the other one should be Shang Guanhong, Ling Tian said through gritted teeth. "Sect Master, this shouldn't be the case. That Qing Emperor is severely injured. We don't know the details, but he definitely won't be able to fight for a short period of time. Sandalwood just entered the Sky Master realm, so she shouldn't be doing anything big. Why are these people acting like they've gone mad?" Elder Jia said. "Inform all the cities to be on high alert." Ling Tian let out a breath and passed down an order. Ling Tian was furious. Putting aside the losses this time, the news would spread out tomorrow. Matchless City had been plundered, and Celestial Sect had lost all face. Matchless City was in fact the most prosperous city of Celestial Sect, and it was the core city. Now, it had been plundered and burned, and it was beyond recognition. Face slapping, this was a ruthless slap to the face. But at this time, someone came to report to Ling Tian that another city had been attacked. When Ling Tian arrived with his men, this city called Water Jade had already been plundered beyond recognition. The city lord and elders had all been killed, and the resources had been plundered. The city was full of burning buildings. At this time, Night Sorrow and Summer City were resting. After resting for a while, the few of them continued to move. After looting 3 cities, the 4 of them finally rested. They couldn't enter the cities, so they set up tents in the wilderness. Summer City caught wild beasts, and the few of them barbecued meat and drank wine. Comfortable. No wonder this old man is living so comfortably. Who could live such a comfortable life? Shang Guanhong looked at Xian Daozi and pointed at Summer City. No pressure. Just focus on fighting. Don't think about anything else. It is indeed comfortable, Xian Daozi said. I'm willing to be comfortable. This time, His Highness is willing to take you along. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had anything to do, Summer City said to Shang Guanhong. Summer City and the others drank wine and chatted. Night Sorrow looked at the map and sat on it to mark. Your Highness, how far can this battle go in the end? Xian Daozi looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow closed the map and said, it's not realistic to kill them until they're convinced. At the very least, they'll be so afraid that they'll close the teleportation portal and not dare to go out. Also, they'll send out Heaven Master level puppets to ambush us in the city. Your Highness, that means there's some risk. How about this? The 3 of us will do it. You can go back, Summer City said. He didn't want Night Sorrow to be in danger. No, I have to join the battle. They injured my master. This matter isn't over. If I don't kill them, it'll be my fault. Night Sorrow came out to train his heart through battle. How could he go back? After resting for a day, Night Sorrow led Summer City and the others to attack the Celestial Sect cities again. They robbed, killed, set fire, and then ran. Summer City's trio and Night Sorrow's teamwork was very good. After the battle began, they knew what to do without Night Sorrow's command. The 3 of them, who had been peaceful for many years, were now terrifying when they went crazy. The world was shaken. Chapter 1291. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. I'll give you a wonderful novel to read. Read the full text. All the forces knew about it. None of them were conservative and had business exchanges. Now that Night Sorrow had brought 3 people to massacre the city, the news naturally spread. This was a big matter. No one was willing to provoke it, but the Qing Emperor's dynasty dared to do it. The Qing Emperor dared to do it, and now Night Sorrow dared to do it too. Moreover, it was the Celestial Sect now. 6 cities had been wiped out, 6 city lord mansions had been massacred, and the city lord and deputy city lord had been killed. They were all monarchs. In addition, their resources had also been robbed. Every time Night Sorrow finished killing, he would shout a slogan, "Fight to the death." The hatred was huge. Now, everyone knew that the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Celestial Sect had gone overboard. The Celestial Sect had used a few puppets to besiege the Qing Emperor, causing the Qing Emperor to suffer heavy injuries. The Qing Emperor's dynasty would not let this matter rest. Now that Night Sorrow had brought people to wantonly slaughter in the Celestial Sect, causing the Celestial Sect to lose all face, the Celestial Sect would not let this matter rest. Qing Yuan sent the information she had obtained to Chia's city and gave it to the Qing Emperor and Yufei. She knew that the Qing Emperor was very worried about Night Sorrow. Well done, the Celestial Sect is going to jump. The Qing Emperor handed the information to Misty Rain. Even Wushuang's city was wiped out. This guy's guts are really big, but he's really capable. Qing Yuan sent the news over as soon as she had the news. Your Imperial Father is worried. Misty Rain said. Imperial Mother, actually, Night Sorrow is very good. Imperial Brother and I are really not jealous, so you don't have any prejudice. Qing Yuan said. What prejudice? Imperial Mother drank the tea that he offered. He is also half a disciple of Imperial Mother. All right, pay attention to the news. If he is in danger, inform me. Heavenly Monarch Yufei said to Qing Yuan. In the Red Emperor's country, the Red Emperor looked at the news sent by his subordinates and raised his head. We lost. Father, what did you say? Akatsuki, who was standing in the hall, asked. Chiwa and Night Sorrow fought. Now, Night Sorrow is a 7-star king who can fight against a monarch. He fought the Dark Abyss and suppressed the Red Emperor's kingdom. Now, he went to the Celestial Sect and started a massacre. You two lost. I also lost to the Qing Emperor, the Red Emperor said. This guy is really bold. Now that the situation has stabilized a little, he dares to do this, Akatsuki said. Imperial Father is right. I've lost. I'm not as courageous as him. Imperial Father, the last time we met, he was still a 4-star king. How did he become a 7-star king now? How many years has it been? Chiwa really didn't understand. Time acceleration. He has never denied that he has a heavenly artifact. The legendary Haotian Godly Pagoda is a space and time attribute treasure. Time acceleration is naturally not a problem. Do you understand now? The Red Emperor said. Even if it's 10 times, 20 times, or even 100 times, it shouldn't be. Even if it's 100 times, the king can't increase 3 levels in 4 or 500 years, Chiwa said. Genius. There is a kind of person called a genius, and Night Sorrow is such a person. Now, who dares to look down on him? Back then, at the Sandalwood wedding, his aura was enough. Now, his aura is even stronger, the Red Emperor said. Akatsuki and Chiwa nodded because they couldn't do that. Datura also received the news. When she saw the news, she excitedly threw away the information in her hand. Then, she returned to the Dragon Bone Palace and shook Night Sorrow's concentric crystal. Night Sorrow looked at Summer City and the others. Then, he moved a distance away and activated the concentric crystal. You bastard, where are you now? Datura's eyes in the concentric crystal were filled with worry. Hee, don't be angry. I'm not in the right state of mind right now. Night Sorrow explained the problem with his mental state. Sigh. I really don't know what to do with you. Although you can bear the loss of your clone, it's still a loss. You must be careful. I heard that Misty Rain has appeared. The Qin Emperor's dynasty and the Sandalwood wedding are very stable. After listening to Night Sorrow's explanation of his mental state, Datura couldn't say anything because Night Sorrow had chosen the right path. She was worried, but she couldn't stop Night Sorrow anymore. Seeing that Datura was a little worried about him, Night Sorrow joked, "Ah Luo, don't worry. I'm now in the mid-stage of 7 King. Are you ready? Come on, do you think I'm afraid of you? But Night Sorrow, you must be careful. Come and propose marriage when you're done." Datura nodded at Night Sorrow. "Alright, I'll be careful." Night Sorrow nodded. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow and Datura cut off the concentric crystal. "Is your wife worried?" Summer City cut a piece of barbecued meat for Night Sorrow and asked. "Yes, she's a little worried." Night Sorrow nodded. He knew who the county seat was referring to. "It's a good thing that your wife is worried. Look at us. No one cares even if we die outside. We have to be like His Highness. We're all powerful outside, but when we return home, what do you think?" Xian Daozi looked at Shang Guanhong. "Sweet home. You don't even know this." Shang Guanhong glanced at Xian Daozi with disdain. Summer City's 3 people chatted, while Night Sorrow looked at the map. He was thinking about the location of the next battle. Night Sorrow was also quite cautious. If they were ambushed, the consequences would be very serious. However, Night Sorrow didn't think that the possibility of that happening was very high. In the following period of time, Yi Shang led Xia Cheng and the others on a killing spree, tormenting the Wuji sect to the point of exhaustion. Apart from the Sky Pillar, no one could withstand the slaughter of Yi Shang and the others. The Celestial sect only had a few puppets at the level of a Heaven Master, and they didn't have enough. In just 1 month, Night Sorrow's group of 4 massacred more than 50 cities of the Celestial sect. The Celestial sect was on the verge of collapse because the City Lord and Vice City Lord were killed and their resources were swept away. The Celestial sect couldn't hold on any longer. "Seal the city." In desperation, the Celestial sect ordered the city to be sealed. The teleportation array was closed, and it would be difficult to launch a sneak attack again. In addition, Night Sorrow's group didn't have the teleportation array to go to the other cities, so it was inconvenient for them to launch a sneak attack and escape. After a break, Night Sorrow took a sip of wine and asked, "Uncles, do you dare to play a big game?" "Why wouldn't we dare?" "As long as your highness says it, we dare to do it," Xian Daozi said. "Let's go to the Celestial sect and massacre them. Then, we can return home and wait for the enemy to attack," Night Sorrow said. "Your highness, isn't it a little rash to attack the Celestial sect?" Summer City was a little worried. He wasn't afraid of himself, but he couldn't watch Night Sorrow be in danger. "It's like this. First, we'll pave the way for massacring the Celestial sect. Then, we'll massacre the Peerless City and go to the Celestial sect. However, this time, we have to be careful. I'll scout the path first and investigate the Peerless City and Celestial sect. This is the last time we can't miss," Night Sorrow said. "Then, when do we move?" Xian Daozi asked. He knew that Night Sorrow already had a plan. JCVL on the first chapter. Chapter 1292. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/small? Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. The website is refreshing and has few advertisements. I love this kind of website the most. You must leave a good review. His Highness orders. Summer City and the others stood up. For safety, we must find someone to cooperate with us. I'll go to 9 grand floors and bring a few spies to Peerless City to investigate. If Ling Tian and the others aren't there, we can clean up Peerless City and run. Then, we'll leave the spies behind. If they find Ling Tian and the others there, we'll go to Sky Peak City and kill them. Destroy the teleportation array and end the battle quickly. Night Sorrow said. Your Highness' plan is good. Xian Daozi said. Night Sorrow set up a teleportation array and teleported back to 9 grand floors. Then, he called Nu Lin. Your Highness, what are your orders? Nu Lin asked. Spies. Spies that don't fear death. Help me gather some information. Night Sorrow said. Nu Lin returned to Sky Tiger Pass and brought a team of 10 people over. Your Highness, they're all soldiers who have cultivated the Phantom Doppelganger technique. We need to investigate. Send the doppelganger out and the original body will report the information to Your Highness. Okay, let's go. Night Sorrow brought his men and teleported to the temporary base where he and Summer City and the others were staying. Now, we'll go to Peerless City to investigate. The main thing is to see if the sect master and the higher-ups of Sky Peak sect are there. If they aren't, we'll kill them. Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, you don't have to go personally. We'll leave our original bodies behind and send our doppelganger to investigate. Your Highness will know immediately if there's any news. The leader of the scouting team said. There's another step. If the higher-ups of Sky Peak sect aren't there, we'll clean up Peerless City and leave. We'll wait outside Sky Peak City for your news. If the higher-ups of Sky Peak sect are in Peerless City, you guys can crush my soul crystal. You don't have to worry about the rest. Just think of a way to evacuate. The website is refreshing and has few advertisements. I love this kind of website the most. You must leave a good review. Night Sorrow told the scouting team about his idea and plan. He also sent the images of the higher-ups of Sky Peak sect to everyone. After listening to Night Sorrow's plan, the scout team set off. It was the Phantom Doppelganger that set off. Night Sorrow took out a few jars of wine and handed them to the scout team members while waiting for news. 2 days later, news came back that there were no higher-ups of Sky Peak sect in Peerless City. During these 2 days, Night Sorrow had also set up a transmission array in a secret location outside Sky Peak City. Good, then let's go out and take down Peerless City. After saying that, Night Sorrow led his team out. After entering Wushuang City, the 4 of them decided to end the battle as quickly as possible. They immediately killed and destroyed the closed teleportation array. After arriving at the City Lord's mansion, Night Sorrow directly threw out the array disk of the Ceiling Sky Illusionary Killing Array, restricting the operation of all the array formations in the City Lord's mansion. Night Sorrow was worried that the City Lord's mansion of the Celestial Peak Sect City Lord's mansion would have secret teleportation arrays ready to help at any time. Night Sorrow's estimation was very accurate. There was a teleportation array in the underground warehouse of Peerless City City Lord's mansion. However, due to the interference of the array disk of the Ceiling Sky Illusionary Killing Array, it couldn't be used. The Ceiling Sky Illusionary Killing Array was good at sealing. Yi Shang killed the new City Lord, stole the newly transported resources, and destroyed the teleportation array. Then, he started to set the teleportation array on fire. Afterward, he shouted at the people of Xia City to take out the teleportation array disk and activate it. The moment it was activated, Yi Shang put away the Ceiling Sky Illusionary Killing Array disk. After Night Sorrow and the others left for an hour, Ling Tian and the others finally arrived. Because the teleportation array was destroyed, they could only fly over. There wasn't enough time. Looking at the burnt City Lord's mansion and the messy scene, Ling Tian roared crazily. At this moment, the scout from the Angry Lin army crushed Night Sorrow's messaging crystal and slowly disappeared into the night. At this moment, Night Sorrow and the 3 people from Summer City were waiting outside Sky Peak City. The message is here. Once we enter, we will start killing. However, the most important thing is to destroy the teleportation array. After destroying the teleportation array, we will head to the City Lord's mansion. We will follow the same pattern as before. Night Sorrow said to the 3 people from Summer City before flying towards Sky Peak City. After entering Sky Peak City, Night Sorrow and the others didn't kill anyone. Because they were in a hurry, they had to destroy the teleportation array first. High-level cultivators all had clones, and the speed at which they could transmit messages was too fast. When Night Sorrow and the others approached the teleportation array to destroy it, Ling Tian's face changed. Night Sorrow, if I don't kill you, I swear that I am not human. Elder Jia quickly set up the teleportation array and connect it to the secret teleportation array in Sky Peak City. We will head back to Sky Peak City as soon as possible. Elder Jia set up the teleportation array and embedded a teleportation crystal. However, the crystal didn't light up. We can't teleport. His pattern is the same as when he attacked this place. He destroyed or interfered with the operation of the teleportation array. Ling Tian's figure flashed as he started flying. Night Sorrow and the 3 people from Summer City didn't hurry to leave. Instead, they started killing. As long as the people from Sky Peak Sect approached the City Lord's mansion, they would kill them. The resources of the City Lord's mansion, as well as the storage rings of the City Lord and Vice City Lord, were all taken by Night Sorrow and the others. After killing enough, Night Sorrow took out the teleportation array disc. Uncles, we are done here. We can leave now. Haha. Comfortable, let's go. Xian Daozi shouted as he took out the teleportation array disc and activated it. Summer City and Shang Guanhong did the same. Night Sorrow kept the array disc of the Sealing Sky Illusion Killing Array and activated the teleportation array disc. After teleporting to the outskirts of Heaven's Fate City, Yishan and the rest arrived at the resting place of the scout team. You guys haven't left yet? Night Sorrow asked. My doppelganger is still on the way, the leader of the scout team said. Alright, then we'll wait for a bit. After you guys leave, I'll destroy the teleportation array. You guys have worked hard this time. Here are some resources for you guys to divide. Night Sorrow took out a storage ring and handed it to the leader of the scout team. There were 3,000 Holy Spirit stones inside. Soon, the phantom doppelganger of the scout team returned and teleported back to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Come, this is all the loot we got from this battle. Let's split it evenly. Night Sorrow took out a small mountain of Holy Spirit stones and other resources. Your Highness, we really don't need it, Xian Daozi said. Haha. I just like the process. It doesn't matter how much we rob. Do we lack Holy Spirit stones? Your Highness, you think too much, Shang Guanhong said with a smile. Split it into 4. Are you guys taking it or not? No, I won't take you guys with me if there's another good thing like this, Night Sorrow said. He couldn't bring himself to take all the resources. Your Highness, you have your principles. We understand. Then we'll split it according to work. Your Highness, the battle tactics and strategies are your research. Your Highness, the way to protect yourself and the array disc are yours. So, the 3 of us will take half, and Your Highness will take the other half. If Your Highness still doesn't agree, then this matter is off the table. Xian Daozi looked at Night Sorrow and said seriously. All right. Then it's settled. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Xian Daozi and the other 2 insisted. They wouldn't take more, and there was no room for discussion. After tidying up, Night Sorrow smiled. It's still robbery. Being a bandit brings in resources quickly. We've robbed millions of Holy Spirit stones, and the other materials are worth hundreds of thousands. The Celestial Sect will suffer a great loss, Night Sorrow said after taking the resources. Not only will they suffer a great loss of face, but they'll also suffer a great loss of face. We've trampled on their 2 core cities, and Peerless City twice. They'll become the laughingstock of the world of reincarnation in the future, Shang Guanhong said. Chapter 1293. Genius remembers love in 1 second go/little. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. After teleporting to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Knight Sorrow went to the Qing Emperor's palace and gathered all the officials, princes, and the higher-ups of the army for a meeting. After everyone was present, Knight Sorrow glanced around. The celestial sect challenged us. In the past month, they've suffered some blows. We've vented our anger. Your Highness is mighty. Everyone in the hall bowed to Knight Sorrow. The next step is to defend. They suffered a loss, so naturally, they can't take it lying down. We're not afraid of an army battle. What we have to defend against is the other party's sneak attack tactics. It's the tactic I used when I went to the celestial sect, Knight Sorrow said. Junior brother, we've studied your tactics. Other than waiting and waiting, there's no other way, Qing Wan said. It's true that one move can dominate the world. I can do it, but they can't. There's nothing that can't be solved. Everything is relative. First of all, we have to avoid losses. All the monarchs of the Qing Emperor's dynasty are to go to the Qing Emperor's city to rest and cultivate. Even if they're the city lords, leave the work to their clones or subordinates. None of the monarchs can be killed. This is our foundation. In addition, the soldiers' expenses and training resources will be distributed for 3 years at a time. All the excess resources will be sent to the Qing Emperor's city. Your Highness, there's no problem with the first few things, but we don't have that many teleportation crystals for each city to set up more than 3 teleportation arrays. An official from the Merit Hall stood up and said. How much do you lack? Knight Sorrow asked. More than half. The official's voice was a little low. Continue to carry out this order. If you lack resources, go to the 9-story tower to find me. Whether it's borrowing, stealing, or robbing, I will protect the foundation that Master has built. Some of you may be bribed or controlled, but I'm not afraid. Tell Ling Tian that he can't afford to play the same tricks that I've played. I, Knight Sorrow, will go against him. I'm in the 9-story tower. If he has the guts, come and kill him. I can afford to lose a clone, but if I catch him, I'll kill him. It's much more stable than the average website. It's updated faster. It's all text and no advertisements. Knight Sorrow's words were powerful. Catch him and kill him. Yufei walked into the Qing Emperor's palace. Greetings, Empress. Everyone bowed in greeting. Mistress, please make the arrangements. Yi Shang took 2 steps out of the hall and bowed to Heavenly Monarch Yufei. You've arranged it well. We'll do as you say. Also, listen up. When His Majesty is recuperating and Sandalwood is in seclusion, Knight Sorrow of the Qing Emperor's palace is the most important. His words are the Emperor's orders. Misty Rain looked at the group of officials and children. Everyone in the Qing Emperor's palace bowed again to accept the order. Forever. For a long time, free of charge, and read novels, Knight Sorrow, continue. Misty Rain stood beside Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow took out some teleportation crystals and handed them to Tan Lin. Hurry up and set up the teleportation array. It must be done secretly. Also, tell the officials and core members of the Qing Emperor's palace to separate their clones from their original bodies. If a city is attacked, I want to know immediately. Alright, everyone, hurry up. The officials left. Only Knight Sorrow, Summer City, Xian Daozi, Shangguanhong, Qing Lin, and Qing Wan were left. Qing Lin and Qing Wan were the commanders of the army. They were in charge of the war. The officials were in charge of the operation of the city. Mother, do you want to come to my Qing Lin palace? Qing Lin asked. No. Mother has been living in the 9 grand floors recently. Misty Rain refused immediately. Mistress, you should go to senior brother and senior sister's place. Knight Sorrow said. You idiot. Ling Tian hates you to death now. He will definitely kill you if he has the chance. What if you get killed if I don't go to the 9 grand floors? Your master is in trouble. You are now the backbone of the Qing Emperor's palace. Sandalwood can't do that. Therefore, you can't be in trouble. Misty Rain scolded Night Sorrow. Junior brother Night, I didn't think it through. Qing Lin looked at Night Sorrow, who was embarrassed by Misty Rain's scolding. But senior brother and senior sister's safety is more important. Night Sorrow felt that he couldn't be above Qing Lin and Qing Wan. It wasn't appropriate. Ling Tian is not stupid. If he goes to assassinate others, it won't affect the situation. However, if something happens to you, it will be a fatal blow to the Qing Emperor's palace. You have shown your prowess in this month. No one can do better than you. Just like the arrangement just now, Qing Lin and Qing Wan can't make such comprehensive arrangements. If something happens to you, the Qing Emperor's palace will lose face. They will lose the core that can command the situation. Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow seriously. Thank you, mistress. I understand. Also, I plan to go to the Red Emperor's kingdom and the Dark Abyss to talk to the Red Emperor and the Dark Lord. If I can find Ling Tian, will they help me? Can I kill Ling Tian in one go and cripple the Celestial Sect? Night Sorrow expressed his thoughts. Then mistress will go with you. Misty Rain said. No. I will go to talk. If mistress goes, it will be like we are asking for help. Mistress, you can't go. We will never be inferior to others. We don't do things that require help. Night Sorrow said. Haha. Well said. You have the same appearance and personality as your master. Then you can do as you see fit. Summer City, follow Night Sorrow. Nothing can happen to you. Misty Rain nodded at Night Sorrow and looked at Summer City. Don't worry, Empress. Summer City bowed. You didn't call me that before. Why don't you call me sister-in-law? Misty Rain looked at Summer City and frowned. We haven't seen each other in many years. I'm a little nervous and not used to it. Summer City said. Sister-in-law, the two of us will go too. Xian Daozi glanced at Shang Guanhong and said. Shang Guanhong also nodded. Master, are you going too? Qing Lin asked, puzzled. If your highness has something to do, this subordinate will go back. I will be busy with His Highness Night Sorrow for a while. Shang Guanhong said. If you want to eat and drink with our highness, just say so. Summer City said. You guys are still arguing endlessly. Let's go. Yufei flung her sleeves at the two of them. Night Sorrow led the three people from Summer City to the Red Emperor's country through the teleportation array. He wanted to confirm the Red Emperor's attitude. In the Qing Emperor's palace, Misty Rain sat on the main throne. Qing Lin, Qing Wan, your father did the right thing. He really didn't care about anything. You guys can't shoulder this burden, but his disciple can. As your father, it's enough for me to see you guys safe and sound. Mother, I understand. I really understand. I admit defeat. Eldest senior brother's battle prowess is famous in the world. He can dominate a region. Youngest junior brother's cultivation is not high enough, but he has a strong view of the big picture. He can really strategize and decide victory from 1,000 miles away. He was able to solve a problem that seemed unsolvable at first, but he handled it very well. Just like now, I don't know how Ling Tian will defend or break through according to his tactics, but he handled it. It seems to be a big trap. Ling Tian will definitely suffer if he dares to come, Qing Lin said. Chapter 1294. Mother, don't worry. Junior brother will take care of it. Whatever he wants to do, he will succeed. Qing Wan said. Okay. You two should visit your father in Chies City more often. He doesn't like to talk about some things, but he really loves you. He just doesn't like it and isn't good at expressing it, Misty Rain said. I will apologize to father. There have been some misunderstandings all these years. I didn't understand father's efforts. Qing Lin nodded. Mother, why are you here? Qing Wan suddenly thought of this question. Misty Rain didn't ask about the Qing Emperor's dynasty for many years. The 9 Stories Tower sent a message to tell us that Yi Shang has returned. Your royal father asked your royal mother to come and take a look. Your royal father is worried that the officials won't accept him because of his young age. He is also worried that you two will cause trouble. Heavenly Lady Yufei glanced at her children. Of course not. Qing Wan said with a smile. You two are mature. Okay, let's go to the 9 grand floors, Misty Rain said. Night Sorrow brought the 3 from Summer City to Red Emperor's City. Go to the Library of Congress. The guards of Red Emperor's City saw the 4 of them as if they were facing a great enemy. Night Sorrow's name was too famous. He was an irrepressible bandit. When he fought, he was as ruthless as the devil. Don't misunderstand. Night Sorrow of the Qing Emperor's dynasty is here to visit the Red Emperor. This is the invitation. Send it over first. We can wait here, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the guards surrounding the Red Emperor's city. All of you are dismissed. Men, bring Hall Master Yi to the VIP building to rest. A commander stood up and took the invitation before instructing his subordinates. Night Sorrow and the other 3 were taken to the Red Emperor's VIP building. However, the building was surrounded by guards. Is it necessary? It's like guarding against thieves, Shang Guanhong muttered. Haha. His Highness is famous, and so are we. You're right, we're guarding against thieves. Xian Daozi said with a smile. As a person, this is what I want. I've lived for countless years in vain. Comfortable, I'm living comfortably now. Shang Guanhong's face was full of smiles. Uncle Xia, you are all Master's old brothers. Why doesn't Elders Wa communicate with you? Why aren't you following us this time? Night Sorrow asked. There are some things that you don't know, Your Highness. Back then, we were 5 brothers with His Majesty. One of us has already passed away. His name is Niu Er. Zhua Tingyun joined the Qing Emperor's dynasty later. He has a good relationship with His Majesty and is also a brother. However, he is different from the 3 of us, Summer City said. I see. Night Sorrow understands, Night Sorrow said. He's not an outsider. However, if there's a battle, the 3 of us will understand and trust each other more. Xian Daozi nodded to Night Sorrow. At this time, in the Red Emperor's palace, the Red Emperor looked at the invitation. This bastard is definitely up to no good. We must meet him. Our Red Emperor's empire has already entered the water. How far can he push us? He probably wants to borrow people. The Celestial Sect can't withstand his shameless torment. Now that the Celestial Sect wants to come, he won't be able to stop them, Akatsuki said. He has to borrow people. Tianxin, Chiwa, you two invited him here. You can't be impolite. In the future, you still have many days to interact with each other in the eastern district of the world of Samsara. It's not worth offending someone like him. The Red Emperor said to Akatsuki and Chiwa. He was of the older generation and was at the same level as the Qing Emperor. Naturally, he wouldn't take the initiative to meet Night Sorrow in the VIP tower. He sent the Crown Prince and Chiwa, who was the commander-in-chief of the army, to invite him. This showed that he attached great importance to him. Akatsuki and Chiwa arrived at the VIP tower. Night Sorrow greets you, Your Highness. Night Sorrow saluted first. Akatsuki and Chiwa also saluted back. I didn't know that Your Highness Night Sorrow would come. I'm sorry for the lack of manners. My father is waiting in the Red Emperor's palace. Then please lead the way, Your Highness. Night Sorrow nodded. When they arrived at the Red Emperor's palace, Night Sorrow saw the Red Emperor sitting on the high throne. There were 2 rows of officials below. Night Sorrow greets you, Your Highness Red Emperor. Night Sorrow saluted. Very good. This time you also made a name for the eastern district of the world of Samsara. Although the name is not very good, I think it's good. The Red Emperor waved his hand and used energy to help Night Sorrow up. Your Highness Red Emperor, you flatter me. Knight Sorrow is young and inexperienced. I still need to learn more from Your Highness Red Emperor. Knight Sorrow replied politely. Say it. How many people do you want to borrow? I don't have many people to lend you. The Red Emperor said. Borrow people? Borrow what people? Knight Sorrow is not here to borrow people. I just want to ask about the Red Emperor's attitude. Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment and said. If you are not here to borrow people, then it's even better. My attitude? My attitude is very clear. No matter how we fight in the eastern district of the world of Samsara, even if we fight to the death, if there are outsiders, we will fight them out first. This is the philosophy of the Qing Emperor, and it is also my philosophy. The Red Emperor said. Well, if there is a chance to kill Ling Tian, I will send a message. Will Your Highness Red Emperor go? Knight Sorrow looked at the Red Emperor and asked. Is there such a chance? The Red Emperor stood up. Yes. If Ling Tian doesn't come out even if he loses, then I can't do anything. If he can't take it and comes to the Qing Emperor's dynasty to find trouble, then the chance will come. My master's wife, Misty Rain, has returned. My senior brother, Sandalwood, is already a big shot. The two of them won't be at a disadvantage against the Celestial Sect. I will go to the Dark Abyss immediately and invite the Dark Lord. Now it's up to Your Highness Red Emperor. Knight Sorrow said. Good courage. No matter if that woman Datura goes or not, I will go. What else do you have to say? The Red Emperor's murderous aura appeared, and then he immediately restrained it. He was attracted by Knight Sorrow's courage. I, Knight Sorrow, owe the Red Emperor's country a favor. If the Red Emperor's country has something to do, send a message. Knight Sorrow will definitely be there. If there is anything else, Your Highness Red Emperor has said that we are a whole in the eastern district of the world of Samsara. I am now in need of transmission crystals to prepare for war. At the same price, Knight Sorrow wants to exchange for some transmission crystals. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and said. No, that's not necessary. Tianxin, go to the treasury and get him a batch of transmission crystals. Knight Sorrow, remember that this is a gift from me. When you need to fight, crush the transmission crystal. Next time, don't bring people with you. It's as if you are going to fight. Summer City, why do you keep holding the sword? What do you think I will do to a little guy like him? Red Emperor looked at Summer City and said with some dissatisfaction. At the same time, he threw a soul crystal to Knight Sorrow. Your Highness Red Emperor misunderstood. It's not that I don't trust you, Your Highness. Summer City just wants to give His Highness a peace of mind. He will always be behind him and can fight at any time. Summer City's right hand that was holding the sword didn't move. His left hand touched his sword and slightly bowed. Go back and tell Qing Emperor that something happened to him. I am also uncomfortable. Hurry up and recover. Without Qing Emperor, the eastern district of the world of Samsara is incomplete. Red Emperor said. Thank you, Your Highness Red Emperor. Summer City bowed. Not only Summer City, but Xian Daozi and Shangguanhong also did the same. They were returning the bow for the Red Emperor's respect to Qing Emperor. Chapter 1295. Alright, that's settled then, the Red Emperor said. Thank you, Red Emperor, for your support. Knight Sorrow will take his leave. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands toward the Red Emperor and left the Red Emperor Palace. Outside the Red Emperor Palace, Akatsuki, who had left earlier, rushed over and handed a storage ring to Knight Sorrow. Thank you. Knight Sorrow said. We will fight in the future, but right now, I don't want to see you lose, Akatsuki said to Knight Sorrow. I won't lose, Knight Sorrow said. Don't get ripped off. When the time comes, you won't be able to boast even if you want to. You haven't paid back what you owe me. Chi Hua, who had followed them out, said. You. You win. Pointing at Chiwa, Night Sorrow couldn't think of the right words to say. He left those 3 words and led the 3 from Summer City to the teleportation array and teleported to the Dark Abyss. There were 3 major forces in the Samsara East District: the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the Red Emperor's empire, and the Dark Abyss. The Dark Abyss was a dark force with a huge territory and countless large cities. Its main city, Dark City, was also very prosperous. The Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's empire both had businesses there. The Dark Abyss was the same. They also had businesses in the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's empire. No matter how fierce the war was, it wouldn't destroy each other's businesses. At most, it would control and limit the loss of some rare resources. With businesses connected, there would naturally be teleportation arrays. Night Sorrow had no problem teleporting there. As soon as Night Sorrow stepped out of the teleportation array, a dark warrior captain swung his blade at Night Sorrow. Don't move. What do you want? I'm here to see your sovereign. Night Sorrow roared, unleashing a wave of willpower. This dark warrior captain glared hatefully at Night Sorrow. You've killed countless members of my Devil Blood Legion. This matter isn't over yet. Someone come and report this. Your Highness, your arrangements aren't good enough. Summer City mumbled as he looked at Night Sorrow. He knew about the relationship between Night Sorrow and Datura. Now that he was almost killed by a soldier, he knew that Night Sorrow did not inform Datura beforehand. It's nothing. It's an official visit. I'm representing the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Who can act recklessly and cut me down just because they want to? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Soon, the upper echelons of the Dark Abyss appeared. They were Rowan and Shushua. The Lord Ruler asked me to bring you over. These 3 should rest in the guest quarters. Rowan said. He was the head of the officials in the Dark Abyss. Most of the time, he was the one who handled matters in the Dark Abyss. No, we came together, so we have to go together. Xian Daozi said. No need. This lord has worked hard. The 3 of us will go and wait. Summer City pulled Xian Daozi aside. Rowan nodded at a nearby Bloodstrike Guard captain. The arrangements have been made. If these 3 are disturbed in the slightest, the Lord Ruler will take your head. Night Sorrow was brought by Rowan to the Great Bone Hall. There were other officials in the hall as well. Datura was seated on the main seat, fiddling with a jade ring in his hand. Night Sorrow greets the Lord Ruler. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and shouted. The Great Bone Hall was too big, and Datura was seated high up. He had no choice but to raise his voice. Not bad. Hearing your greetings makes this lord very happy. Let's go. Let's talk in the Dragon Bone Hall. Datura waved his hand, and Night Sorrow disappeared from the Great Bone Hall. What's going on? Shushua asked, puzzled. Nothing. Just don't provoke Lord Night Sorrow in the future, Rowan said to Shushua. After arriving at the Dragon Bone Hall, Night Sorrow found a seat and sat down. You're acting like this is your own home? Datura, who hadn't sat down yet, asked. Yes. In the future, wherever you are, it will be my home, Night Sorrow said. That's right. Wherever I am, it will be your home. Why did you come so formally this time? Datura asked as he brewed tea. Yes, but being brought to the Dragon Bone Hall by you, no matter how formal my visit is, it won't be formal anymore, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Very good, that's a good idea. Let Ling Tian give it a try. With all the forces in the eastern district of the world of reincarnation, it'll be easy to destroy them, Datura said with a smile. I don't think he'll come because he's not stupid. He should have gotten this information, unless those guys from the Black Fiend Valley and Martial God Palace are willing to fight with him to the death, Night Sorrow said. Update, soonest update, no, they're all sly old foxes. Without seeing the heavenly artifact, they won't fight to the death. Besides, they can see how Celestial Sect is being tormented by you. If it's not necessary, they won't want to provoke you. Datura shook his head. That's good. I can still stabilize the situation, Night Sorrow said. 7-star king, not bad. Did the battles during this period help you? Datura changed the topic. My train of thought was right. Now my state of mind is stable. Night Sorrow nodded. That's good. Once your state of mind is stable, your cultivation will improve quickly. However, don't be too anxious. After entering the high-level sovereign realm, your cultivation and realm will not improve so quickly. Your current strength is not enough. However, it won't be easy for anyone below the Sky Master to take your life. That's enough, Mandela said. Night Sorrow and Datura were drinking tea in the Dragon Bone Hall, but Xian Daozi and Sheng Guanhong in the VIP building were a little impatient. Old man, aren't you anxious? Who is Datura? She won't give face to His Majesty at all. If she doesn't give face, His Highness will be embarrassed, Sheng Guanhong said while looking at Summer City. That won't happen. His Highness was captured by her once, but he was still fine. It won't be the first time they meet. The situation will be harmonious. Summer City was very confident. Night Sorrow and Datura were engaged. He guessed that the two of them would meet to chat. All right. I'll trust you this time. The Red Emperor has spoken, and with sister-in-law's return, the situation is stabilized. The meat in our mouth is in the bag. Xian Daozi smiled. This guy's personality is like His Majesty's. He's even sharper than His Majesty. Although his cultivation is low, his aura is good. He's also calm when facing the Red Emperor. Sheng Guanhong now had a very high opinion of Night Sorrow. He's been training for a long time. Although his reputation in the world of reincarnation is a bit lacking, in other people's worlds, he's still an overlord. His aura have been formed long ago, Summer City said. His Majesty's 2 disciples are incomparable. After Her Highness Sandalwood comes out of seclusion, she'll definitely be an overlord. His Highness Night Sorrow is famous for being difficult to deal with. The Qing Emperor's dynasty will be as stable as Mount Tai in the future. Xian Daozi sighed. Her Highness Sandalwood is like a general, while His Highness Night Sorrow is like an emperor, an overlord. They're not the same type, but they're both rare monsters, Sheng Guanhong said. In the Dragon Bone Palace, Night Sorrow and Datura talked about the Qing Emperor's situation. Night Sorrow, I don't want to hide it from you, because it'll make you unhappy in the future. The Qing Emperor didn't tell you the truth. The evil poison centipede is a heaven-defying poison. If it's not completely cured, it'll kill you, Datura said hesitantly. Chapter 1296. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked. The Golden Dragon clan is the most domineering among the dragons. They are the kings of dragons, and the evilest are the evil dragons. These 2 clans are the rarest. The Golden Dragon is rarely seen, and the same goes for the Evil Dragon. The evil venomous centipede is the essence of the poison in the evil dragon's body, and it will corrode everything. Even though the Qing Emperor's cultivation is high, he won't be able to withstand it. Datura explained. But Master told me that he will only lose his cultivation, and his life will be wuyo? Night Sorrow stood up, and his face was full of anxiety. He was afraid that you would be worried, but with the Qing Emperor's cultivation, he will be able to withstand it for a while. This is the time to solve the problem. Datura pulled on Night Sorrow's sleeve and asked Night Sorrow to sit down first. She understood how Night Sorrow was feeling now. I don't have any clues about the enlightened Tao or the White Tiger's blood. Night Sorrow patted his forehead. The enlightened Tao is very rare. If you are lucky, you might be able to find it. The enlightened Tao can repair everything that is damaged in the body. If you find the enlightened Tao, the Qing Emperor's cultivation will be restored by more than half, and it will be easier to suppress the evil venomous centipede. The white tiger's blood can detoxify the poison. After detoxifying the evil venomous centipede, the Qing Emperor will only lose his cultivation, and his life will be Wuyo. I understand. I gave Master the life spirit liquid and the 10,000 life limitless pill. It should buy us some time. Night Sorrow exhaled and said. Datura then took out a book. I gave this to you a long time ago. Can you treat it as my dowry? The Great Death Slash. I don't know if I can cultivate this. Night Sorrow took the book and asked. If it was in the past, you could only comprehend by analogy, but not now. I have prepared something for you. Datura took out a black stone. What is this? Night Sorrow asked as he looked at the stone that was emitting an aura of death. The Yellow Spring Stone is a treasure nurtured in the Yellow Spring River. Without a certain amount of time, it won't take shape. I searched the entire Yellow Spring River in the world of reincarnation and found it. It's the only one that can give you death energy. Datura said. Ah Luo, you know that my Dantian's Jin Qi is void Jin Qi. My body is circulating the power of desolates, which is also the power of time. In addition, my body also has the power of space. How can I control death energy? Night Sorrow looked at the stone in Datura's hand and said. You can. After you refine it, the Yellow Spring Stone will exist in your body as a treasure. You can use the death energy. You can slowly study it. There will be a suitable method for you. There are some things you don't understand. The death attribute is the closest to the destruction attribute. It contains the highest amount of destruction. The complete death attribute is comparable to your senior brother's blood attribute. Datura said. There are too many things I don't understand. In front of Ah Luo, I am just an ignorant rookie. Night Sorrow blushed with shame because he didn't know these things. Why is it that an emperor and a heaven pillar, one has comprehended 90% of the will, while the other has comprehended 100% of the will? Why is it that the difference in battle strength between heaven and earth is so great? Because it involves power. The complete will of heaven and earth has a power increase. For ordinary attributes like fire and water, the complete will of heaven and earth contains the destruction and void attributes. The life, death, time, and space attributes are not only strong, but they also have a power increase. You will slowly understand. Datura said. You are saying that all attributes contain the highest attribute? Night Sorrow looked at Datura in surprise. Of course. From an ordinary person's point of view, doesn't a fire destroy everything? Doesn't a flash flood destroy everything? Therefore, every attribute contains the element of destruction. It is just a matter of how much is contained. The void attribute is the same. People in the world know more about the destruction attribute because there are many records about it. The void attribute, on the other hand, is mysterious. The dominance of the highest attribute is the same. The void attribute is nothing, and it can destroy everything. It is no different from the destruction attribute. Currently, there are known branches of destruction. Some geniuses have comprehended the destruction branch, and your senior brother is one of them. However, no one has understood or comprehended the void attribute, even if it is a branch. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and felt that Night Sorrow was the lucky one. Ah Luo, I need to think about what you told me. It is a little complicated, Night Sorrow said. I am just casually telling you. This understanding might be very important to ordinary cultivators. However, you have the highest attribute, so it is not that important, Datura said. After chatting with Datura for a while, Night Sorrow decided to leave. The Qing Emperor's dynasty was not stable yet, and there were many things that needed to be arranged. Datura hugged Night Sorrow. This is my main body. I can't tell the difference, Night Sorrow looked at Datura and said. It is very simple. Pay attention to this. There is a strand of golden hair here. There is no clone. Datura turned around and pointed at his hair. I know. I will come to see you when I have time. Or you can wait for me in the city in the sky. My master lives in the small lakeside house in Seven Nights City, Night Sorrow said. After hugging Datura again, Night Sorrow put away the yellow spring stone that Datura gave him and left the Dragon Bone Palace. Finally, he was led to the VIP building by Shishua. How is His Highness? Xian Daozi asked anxiously. No problem. As long as Ling Tian dares to appear in the Qing Emperor's dynasty with a puppet, he will not need to return, Night Sorrow said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, wonderful. Your Highness, there is nothing you cannot do. Even the Dark Lord can persuade you, Sheng Guanhong said excitedly. There are many things you don't know. The future will make you too tremble, Summer City said to the excited Xian Daozi and Sheng Guanhong. If there is nothing else, let's go back. My master's wife is still worried. Also, I want to see how the Qing Emperor's dynasty is doing. The teleportation array must be set up quickly, Night Sorrow said and walked out. Shishua sent Yi Shang and the others to the teleportation array. He seemed to understand something, but he couldn't explain it, nor did he dare to guess. He only knew that he couldn't offend Yi Shang. After teleporting to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Night Sorrow and the others headed to the Qing Emperor's palace. At this moment, Qing Lin and Tan Lin were overseeing the situation. Tan Lin was making arrangements, while Qing Lin was coordinating the Qing Lin army. Junior brother, you're back. Did everything go well? Qing Lin asked when he saw Night Sorrow. Everything went well. Where is Master's wife? Night Sorrow asked. She is in the 9-layer pagoda. Blue Phoenix is with her. You should go rest after running around, Qing Lin said. Night Sorrow nodded and led Summer City and the others back to the 9-layer pagoda. Inside the 9-layer pagoda, Misty Rain asked in surprise after hearing Night Sorrow's report, did everything go well? Datura also agreed. Chapter 1297. If Ling Tian and the others bring their puppets here, I will send a message to the Red Emperor and the Dark Dominator. Oh right, Fei Xiu, give this storage ring to Tan Lin, Night Sorrow said as he took out the storage ring given to him by Akatsuki. Your Highness, let's see how we can send something of equal value back. Otherwise, Your Highness will owe the Red Emperor a favor, Summer City said. Don't worry, I will repay this favor slowly. The Red Emperor's empire will also need help, Night Sorrow said. What's going on? Our Qing Emperor's empire can't owe others a favor, Misty Rain said. No, mistress, don't worry. Originally, I wanted to use other resources to exchange for the teleportation crystal, but the Crimson Emperor didn't accept it. He said that it was a gift to me, Yi Shang, so I will settle this matter, Yi Shang said. The Red Emperor isn't stupid. He thinks highly of you, so your favor is very important. However, this is the only way, Misty Rain said. If I didn't accept it, then it would seem as if I rejected it. It would seem as if I was being petty, so I didn't refuse at the time, Yi Shang explained. You didn't do anything wrong. If you rejected it, it would mean that you were keeping him at arm's length. It's not appropriate. We can only wait and see. Did Datura make things difficult for you? Heavenly Monarch Yufei asked. She was worried that Yi Shang would be wronged because Mandela was famous for being ruthless in the world of reincarnation. No, Datura didn't make things difficult for me. Don't worry, Night Sorrow said. Heavenly Monarch Yufei nodded. Xuanji, spread the word. I guarantee that the news will spread everywhere. Whatever the price is, I'm willing to pay. The remains of the Profound Ice Tiger King, the Thunder Rune Spirit Accumulation Pill, I don't care what kind of pills, weapons, or armor you need. I'm willing to pay them all, Yi Shuang said to Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow, what are you trying to do? This won't do. We can spread the news, but don't mention the bones of the mystical Ice Tiger King. Just say that we will pay any price. If they ask for a sky-high price, we can pay them back on the spot. However, if they mention the bones of the mystical Ice Tiger King, it won't be easy to negotiate, Misty Rain said to Jun Xuanji. Jun Xuanji nodded and went to make arrangements. Currently, all the officials of the Qing Emperor's palace were negotiating with her. She was the representative of the 9 Grand Pavilion. Mistress, I want to pay a bigger price. This way, we can mobilize everyone and have a better chance. Although the bones of the mystical Ice Tiger King are valuable, it is not worth mentioning compared to Master's health, Night Sorrow said. Yi Shang, I understand what you mean. But you have to know that if you don't have it, it's useless even if you pay a huge price. If you take out a treasure like the profound Ice Unicorn Tiger King skeleton, you'll be trapped in a whirlpool. Our Qing Imperial Empire can't become a whirlpool anymore. Your master and his wife know what you're thinking, said Celestial Monarch Yu Fei. Night Sorrow nodded. He couldn't say anything else. After that, everyone went back to work. Even the Blue Phoenix left. Mistress, tell me the truth. How much time do we have to find the materials for Master's problem? Night Sorrow asked when there was no one else in the hall. Your master will be fine. You don't have to worry too much, Misty Rain said. Mistress, I have learned that the poisonous centipede evil dragon is fatal. Without the corresponding resources, the consequences will be very serious. Night Sorrow looked at Misty Rain and said. Since you know, I won't hide it from you. Without your life spirit liquid and longevity limitless elixir, the situation will be very bad. It will be unimaginably bad. I don't dare to think about it. However, with the longevity limitless elixir, your master will be able to survive for 10,000 years. I believe that if we work together, we can solve this problem, Misty Rain said. With 10,000 years, I feel more at ease. Let's wait and see what the Celestial Sect will do. After this crisis, I will go to the Xuanhuan Great World and the Shenwu Great World to spread the news. Mingdao must get it as soon as possible, Night Sorrow said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, let's solve the current crisis first. You don't have to worry too much. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is everyone's dynasty. Let's work together. Misty Rain nodded to Night Sorrow. Misty Rain's view of Night Sorrow had completely changed. He understood why the Qing Emperor valued and liked Night Sorrow so much. No one would dislike such a disciple. In the following days, the 9-story tower became the core of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The officials and princes came to the 9-story tower to see Night Sorrow about the results of their work. The defense of the Qing Emperor's dynasty was carried out in an orderly manner. After watching Night Sorrow dismiss the officials, Summer City said, Your Highness, the Black Fiend Valley was dishonest some time ago. Let's go to the Black Fiend Valley now and teach them a lesson like we did to the Celestial Sect some time ago. If we attack the Black Fiend Valley now, it will force the Black Fiend Valley and the Celestial Sect to join forces and fight to the death with us. This is not good for us. If we deal with the Celestial Sect now, other forces will laugh at us. After we deal with the Celestial Sect, we will attack the Black Fiend Valley. At that time, it will be difficult for the Black Fiend Valley to join forces with others. At the very least, the Celestial Sect will not join forces, because when the Celestial Sect is suffering, they will just watch and not help, Night Sorrow said. Summer City, you are far behind in the battle of wits. Don't come up with bad ideas. Just do as Night Sorrow said. Misty Rain glanced at Summer City and said. Sister-in-law, you know that Summer City is stupid. Don't lower yourself to Summer City's level. Summer City cupped one hand in the other before his chest and said to Misty Rain. You haven't made any progress, but you are still the Summer City of the past, full of courage, Misty Rain said. The situation was very stable. Ling Tian had spies in the eastern part of the world of Samsara, so he knew the situation of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. He couldn't take revenge. The Celestial Sect still had 3 Heaven Master level puppets, but the Qing Emperor's dynasty could gather more than 3 Heaven Masters. Not to mention the Red Emperor and Misty Rain, Ling Tian didn't dare to ignore Sandalwood's fighting strength. Sandalwood, who had just entered the Heaven Master level, was able to save the Qing Emperor, which showed how terrifying she was. Datura could defeat Zhang Taiyang and make him flee. This was known to everyone in the world of samsara. Knight Sorrow was not afraid of waiting because he had the formation plate. Knight Sorrow could fight and run as he wished. But Ling Tian couldn't. He was afraid of being ambushed. Once he was ambushed, the celestial sect would be finished. Foster father, if we can't fight on a large scale, then we should kill Knight Sorrow himself. If we kill him, the Qing Emperor's dynasty won't be as united as it is now. Chang Shangxi said. It's not that easy. That little bastard is very intelligent. He must be prepared for this. It's difficult to assassinate him. Let the spies continue to investigate. Ling Tian looked at Chang Shangxi and said. Then we'll just accept this loss? Ling Ju also said. Of course not. I'll go to the Black Fiend Valley now and see what Li Tianba and Li Tianhu have to say. They won't let the Qing Emperor's dynasty be so arrogant. Ling Tian said, You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.